welcome to the Indigo Playroom. It is your good buddy, the Scribe. I hope you are having a great night. We have an amazing night of D&D for you. Ooh. It is Friday night. We don't normally, sometimes we do D&D, but this has honestly been a week of Dungeons & Dragons. Tonight, we have another epic level 21 shot. This one following the alternate history, the alternate reality of Zip Zap Zephyr. We're a group of heroes from the Plaster Dragons game. Thank you so much for lending us those characters. From the Something Wicked campaign, are going on a rescue mission. All the characters have aged. It is 10 years later, and they are going to rescue Affyria, the daughter of two of the characters in that campaign. So we've got a few announcements before we get started tonight. As of Friday night, like I said, Saturday night, there's nothing going on here, but you can tune over to the Plaster Dragon for singles night. Single story arcs, that's a lot of fun. Tomorrow night, they're doing a Muppet Born for some of you that have seen some of this cool stuff. So, I hope that didn't spoil anything.
No. Hey everybody! It's me, Roland Dice, and I'm going to be the assistant DM. Yay! Oh, I hope that's not copyrighted. Did I get you in trouble?
No, you're fine.
Oh, good. Do you like my shirt? This is Toasty's evil twin, Roasty. I'm going to be helping the Plaster Dragon because I know a lot about Muppets. So tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern and see some Muppet fun. Bye.
We're going to eat nothing but sugar all day tomorrow to prep us for all playing Muppets.
It is true.
So tune in for that. Sunday night, it's going to be a very special one-shot here on Indigo Chameleon. Our very own Nitro, Big Mike, is going to be DMing, taking over the DM spot. And we're going to be doing something set within the Curse of Strahd.
Yes.
Level 9 characters. Level 8 characters, hunting monsters.
Good try.
Yeah. So close. Level 12 characters.
Yes.
Killing vampires and werewolves.
Level 37.
Level 37 characters. Killing werewolves and vampires. And so you're not going to want to miss that. It's at 8 p.m. On Sunday. Monday night, there's bound to be something going on over at the Plaster Dragon. Stay tuned for a possible one-shot that night. Tuesday is Wonder. We have a heist episode with Dull the Barbarian, played by our very own Legend Hillary.
Oh no.
She hates doors, man. So bad. So you're going to want to tune in for that as well. Stay tuned to the Discord for updates about upcoming shows this week. I think we've got some fun, interesting things coming, including fairly soon some fun one-shots and probably a D&D 101 where we take brand new players and teach them how to play D&D, and it's a lot of fun. We set all those adventures in the land of Fairly, which is fairly close to all of the other realms. It's usually like fairy tales. So stay tuned for that. I think that's all of the announcements for tonight. So let's get into tonight's game. You are all going to be playing characters that you are very familiar with, but our audience may not be. So I want to take a second to have you introduce yourselves and who you're going to be playing tonight. Maybe let us know a little bit about what they've been through over the years. Okay? Wolf, let's start with you, buddy.
I'm Wolf Garin, otherwise known as Zephyr. And just to let you know a little bit about Zephyr, I think hopefully I don't start crying because
It's all right.
he's become very much a part of me. Started out as a half-elf bard and loved my music. Basically, it was the only thing that he had in his life until he met this awesome group of people whom have become literally his family. And at one point, it's been in the distant future now, he died after having been blessed or cursed with whatever it happened to be at the time, tied to be the summer courts.
You said died, but you meant killed.
Yes, he was murdered by
cold blood.
Out of love
by his best friends, but then brought back in a very moving ceremony. I'm now a tiefling, purple skinned, sexy as hell. and I'm
I mean,
married.
not to boast or anything.
I'm married to Zuki, my one and only sweetheart from the moment I met her, and it's our daughter, Affyria, that we are going to be rescuing today.
Perfect.
Hello, I am Atavistic. I will be playing Keel, the Aasimar Paladin. Keel has is the stoic member of the group, the no-nonsense kind of guy, and for the last, how long has it been, 15-ish years, has been running Ben as a top-level agent and has moved globally, saving the world countless number of times since. He's been training a lot of people. One of those people will be joining us tonight, and he's doing this to help a friend, a dear friend.
Suki.
Zuki lost her family, her biological family, pretty early on when she was about 8, and found a new family about 10 years later with everyone else here. She's a druid, but she's not really a traditional druid because she kind of grew up on the streets of Boston. And she met everyone, and she was the one who performed the ceremony in which Zephyr became a tiefling, and she pushed a lot of people away, including him, for a really long time, and 10 years later she has a tiefling daughter and still a pretty darn amazing family.
Nick.
Yes. I am Big Mike. I play Nick Jacoby, a cleric who's had a twisted path, to say the least. Turns out his mom was trying to destroy not only her own realm, but everybody else's realm, and wanted to rule over the Ashes. So there was that. I mean, that's a normal childhood thing, right, for everybody. So that happened.
Mother's Days are so awkward.
Yeah, it's an awkward thing. And she killed my father, so I mean, there's that as well. And then Nick has spent the past 15 years trying to
Atone?
I would say
yeah.
penance. He's been doing nothing but, and he has spent most of his time in solitude study, away from everybody else, and has foregone any type of quest for power or any kind of fighting. So he's been quite.
Is he
peaceful.
a pacifist?
Not necessarily a pacifist, but he has chosen to not strike back in any kind of anger.
Okay.
So
Someone new, but familiar, joining this, something that could.
Yes, the Plaster Dragon here. Normally I am sitting where the scribe is, but when he and I talked about the need for this adventure to happen while these guys were in town, he asked if I wanted to get an opportunity to play in this world, and I was like, yeah, that would be kind of awesome. We talked about what the idea for the game would be, and I was like, this has to happen. So I am going to be playing Benjamin Kincaid, Reginald and Michael's son. And for those of you who have been reading along in Zip Zap Zephyr, you know that Michael died tragically in a battle between Zephyr and Malmar Thir, days after Affyria was born. And this event shaped Benjamin's life. He had wanted to learn, he thought that, sword fighting and magic and all that stuff was super cool when he first met all of Reg's friends and wanted to be just like them. And that event changed the way he looked at magic, and now he wants nothing to do with magic, and he became a warrior, and he trained under Keel, and he trained under anyone he could find, and he has made himself an elite fighter with the sole purpose of eradicating evil spellcasters and anyone that would use their magic to subjugate people. And his sole purpose has been to find and kill Malmar Thir. He wants vengeance for his father.
You are powerful. You are older. You are established in the world of which you had no reason to believe would lead to this point in your lives. You are heroes. And I don't think Heel is the only one that has saved this world countless times. I think there is always someone trying to destroy the planet. I think there is always someone ready to strike out at you. That's the hardest thing about being a target. You set yourselves up to take the big hit. They're not coming after random people's children, they're coming after your children. Because time and time again, when the going gets tough, you stepped up and made the choice. You made the decision. Be it good or bad, you stepped up because you had to. So we're going to start this story not at any sort of ending for all of you, but at a new beginning. When you have the world in front of you, and power is not a question, the better question becomes, what do you do with it? Throughout all of your sort of adventures, I imagine that you have spent a good deal of time at the academy. So it's no surprise to you when Reggie, during a bit of training, gets a text message on his phone and sort of looks at you and says, "It's time. Go put on your armor and I will gather the others."
All right, Dad. See you back down here in 5-10 minutes.
Damn right.
This time we win.
Yes. Always. Reggie transports to different areas. Each of you receive a knock at your door. You at the Ben headquarters, wherever that may be. It's our world. You know what? I'm DMing. So he vamps to the location set on the moon, where Ben sort of controls all sort of the world areas, and you receive a knock on your door, and he says, "It's time." And you know exactly what he means. And I imagine you look over next to your desk and see a warhammer that's gathered a little bit of dust, and grab it.
Without saying a word, I grab it and follow.
Yeah. The people are shocked as the boss man walks out of the main room, probably wearing a suit, taking the glasses off, shattering them in your hand, and walking through a portal with him.
Before I leave, I turn to the front office desk and point. Agent Glitter, you're in charge.
Crap. Not again. And he gets up and sits at the desk and takes a bobblehead out and puts it in front of him and like taps the bobblehead.
That's Agent Glitter's little bobblehead.
You're in a place of solitude, I imagine, and peacefulness. I don't know where that would be.
The library.
The library. It's sort of this massive library, and Reggie comes up behind you. You and he have worked together, so he doesn't say a word to you. So to startle you from what you're reading, he just places a hand on your shoulder and gives it a gentle squeeze, and you know exactly what that means.
Is it really going to be over?
I think so.
So let's begin.
Adventures?
I think so.
The last two people that he goes to see in the world are you two. Because you're the hardest people to talk to. I think as he knocks on the door, the two of you are already dressed, standing at it. Because you knew. Be it the deeper magic that runs through your veins, the magical attunement, the items that you have as parents, there is something far deeper than that. You know when your child is in trouble, and better yet, you know when it's time to go get your child. Both of you woke from a sound sleep and looked at each other wordlessly and started getting ready.
I pick up Tiny the elephant from the bedside table. Let's do this. Let's bring her home.
And as some sort of divine affirmation that what you're doing is the right way, Tiny, without squeezing it, its eyes light up, filling you with the inspiration that you as a bard, after spending years and years of inspiring people have never been able to quite touch the amount of inspiration that a tiny elephant's eyes have given you. And you hope that in another 50 years you'll be able to achieve that. You walk outside and all sort of congregate on the grounds of the academy, a place established by Reginald as a training grounds and as a way to sort of work in tandem with Ben in order to send out young heroes out into the world. And as you all sort of meet on the grass, you all look at each other, and for some of you it's the first time that you can remember since a birthday party a year ago today that everybody was in the same place at the same time. There's a quiet power in the connection of being around all of those people at the same time. So as you all sort of look at each other, you start surveying your surroundings. I need everybody to roll a perception check for me as you start to notice sort of the busy happenings that are going on around the world.
21.
30.
20.
20.
16.
16.
19.
19. Okay. So you guys all start to look, and you start to see what looks to be an amassing of troops. People are wearing armor, different sizes and shapes, different creatures of all different sorts, amassing on the grounds, and before you stands a large transportation circle. They all seem to be taking ranks. Reggie moves in between the ranks, straightening people up, handing out magical items. Gray, who looks ancient at this point, has a long beard, is sort of scribbling on this transportation circle and will randomly reach behind him. There is a small, timid child that just sort of hands him a cold piece of pizza every time he reaches a hand behind him. Gray shoves it in his mouth, and he continues to draw. You're seeing flecks of tomato paste mixed in with the white sort of chalk that's being drawn on the ground. You, with your 30, notice that the sigils on the ground, you're familiar with the spell of transportation magic and things of that sort. You've tried this before. There's something different about this. As you all tend to look at these soldiers sort of lining up, Zuki, you walk forward and creep towards this circle. As she does, you all start to notice Zuki. It's a portal, so of course she's walking forward. And as she steps forward, the sigils are beginning to change and move. It's water, it's liquid, it's a magic the likes of which you haven't seen before. As it begins to move, Gray, puts a hand up and says, "No, it's not time yet. Stop, and sort of like pushes you back, and continues to work hard. As Reggie starts barking out orders, you hear him say something along the lines of, you catch the tail end of, "We don't know what's going to come through that portal, but you have one job. Your job is to stand here and keep it open for as long as possible. We give them time. I give them time. It is the best gift I can give. We do this because of one soul. Because we would all die for one soul. One innocent soul is worth the lot of us. That's what we signed up for." And everyone sort of nods in agreement, and he places a comforting hand on people, and he's in his element. They're not just children, they're agents in the field.
I approach and actually put my arms around Zuki as he's doing this and just hold her close.
Reggie will turn to face you all and say, "We found her. Or we found a glimmer of her. We've discovered that she's moving constantly. That's why we haven't been able to track her." Gray, in a clever bit of magic, has found out that there's a pattern to the movements. And sure enough, we don't know where she's going amidst the planes and dimensions. It is high magic, but we do have an idea. We've placed a tracker in one particular dimension, and when she shows up, we will be notified. I know it's hard. Get some rest. Get some sleep. Your old rooms are prepared. And I've actually got a surprise for all of you. As he does, one of the mages steps forward and casts a magnificent mansion, which looks like an old house that you guys are all fairly familiar with all of your rooms exactly how they were. The basement calling out to you. You hear the faint sounds of video games echoing forth from the basement. As you all walk into the house, the same dirty clothes line the floor. The smell of cooking is coming from the kitchen. Your room, exactly how it was. A brief moment of respite before the storm. I don't know when it's going to happen. Take some time. We will hold the portal open as long as we can. Gray assures me that once you reach Affyria and have contact with her, the magic completes. She's the last component, and you will all come back here. He hands out gifts, very simply tied. It's nothing colorful about this wrapping paper. It's Reggie. It's brown paper and twine. Handing you a small glass orb and explaining to you that this is a summoning orb, and that it was it's called the horn, and to be called forth to summon your greatest ally. And you immediately click and know exactly who that's going to be. You cradle it in your hands, gently. He hands you a special pendant that looks like it was carved by a child. And he gets a little emotional and says, "I'm sorry. I was going to hand it to you before, but we were saving it for Mother's Day. But Gray has tinkered with it, and she wanted to give it to Mama then." And he hands you the necklace, and you sense the deep sort of maternal power inherent in this. Your present was prepared by your mother, and you are handed a lunchbox. And it is a Transformers lunchbox, bread with a thermos. And inside of it, it looks like there's a little note from your mother, and you feel the magic sort of radiating from that as well. He hands you a box and opens it up, and inside what looks to be a Casio microphone that's multicolored, pink with sparkles. And you realize that he has appropriated this as well from Affyria's room during many play sessions. He walks over to you, and the stoic father that you knew all these years that had to be strong because he was the only one begins to cry silent tears as this present that he hands to you is not wrapped. It is a set of cufflinks. And he says, "Your father wore these on our wedding day. It was a very simple ceremony. It was very small. There was no frills, which comes to the surprise of no one.
You allowed no frills.
You were his greatest treasure. And there's no greater love than a parent for their child. So I think you should wear them. And you feel the deep magic resonating from that as well. And all of you take this time, take a rest, and what would you like to do with your evening in the house that you haven't been in for quite some time?
I'm going to examine the old murder board.
Okay, give me an investigation check as you look over at the murder board.
Oh. That is a 29.
It's a low DC to find the large penis that's been put in of the murder board.
I thought I took that down.
As you remove it, there's a chuckle, but you see the ties that got you to the point that you were at. What does he feel when he looks at this? What is the emotion that courses through?
It is such a long time ago for him, and such a misguided focus. It was what led to his end.
So Nick spent some time just looking at the murder board and reflecting back on what he was.
Like it's his greatest mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your regret poster.
Pretty much.
What do you do with your time in that?
Before heading down to the first room that he had here, which was with Reggie's room, where Ben and Michael were, he goes and finds Zuki and Zephyr, which I would imagine would be upstairs in their.
I think the two of them are probably exploring the house a little. Maybe actually no. Zephyr hasn't
He's
changed.
going and I'm going with him.
Yeah, Zephyr hasn't changed. Zephyr's probably in the kitchen at this point. Like
We've got to start somewhere.
He's looking for his sugary cereals, isn't he?
Captain Crunch.
There's amazing food prepared, and Zephyr's like, "Ooh, Captain Crunch."
Right, so I guess I head upstairs and I just see them in the kitchen and just head over. Glad I found you two here. I'm glad this is the mission. I thought it was Malmarathia, but this is a better mission. And you see him fiddling with the cufflinks in one hand, and he has something made of wood in the other. And he holds it out to Zuki, and she can see it's a small hand-carved wooden elephant. I've taken up wood carving as a pastime on missions to focus my mind. I'm trying to release the hate and the vengeance that has been consuming me all these years. And I've thought about my niece a lot, and I know she loves animals. I've carved a set of these for her, for I knew we would get her back someday. And I'd like you to hold on to this one. The others are in my room, and I will make a toy chest for her when we get her back, but I want you to have this for now. The rest when we've brought her safely home.
Thank you.
I stand up and actually take him by the shoulders and bring him in and give him a kiss on the forehead. Your father is so proud right now. He's so proud. And so am I.
I hope he is,
Thank
but
you for being here.
there's no way to talk to him where he is. Mikey gives me glimpses from time to time, but I'm beginning to suspect they're not real, just him trying to comfort me, but they are what they are, and I take them for that, but
You always have a home here.
thank you.
No, thank you.
And you always have me for whatever you need.
And I suddenly just pull him into an embrace, like whether he wants it or not.
And he just melts into
I
it.
hold him tight.
Probably doesn't get a lot of those,
No.
so it's a big deal.
Yeah, he kind of cries on your shoulder a bit.
Now come, eat with us. And I pour you a bowl of Captain Crunch with crunch berries.
He looks at it and he looks around as though he's trying to find out where Reggie is because he's not allowed to have this.
He's not here.
All right, one bowl.
What is Keel doing with his time in the house?
He's actually going to head down to his old room. The bedspread is immaculately made, almost militaristic. And he actually walks over to one of his desk drawer, opens it up, and pulls out a small stack of origami paper. He then proceeds to fold 6 paper cranes, one of them being as obnoxiously pink as possible. And on that one, before he folds it, he writes, "Love, Uncle Keel." And he folds them all very, very neatly and nicely, and heads upstairs to enjoy dinner with the rest of everybody.
Nick, do you join them for dinner as you hear the sounds of laughter and stuff like that coming from upstairs as people eat cereal and?
I'll come down and join them and just be quiet.
He's not eating.
Zuki's not eating. What is Zuki doing with her time?
She's gonna wait because she's probably not gonna say it in front of everybody else.
What is it, dear?
I'm angry. I thought now was the time. I thought we were going now. I didn't realize this was hurry up and wait. I didn't realize this was let's go to a place and then wait, and it could be an hour, it could be a day, it could be 5 days, it could be
Wrap it in my arms. And patience, love. waited so long.
I've had patience. I've waited a year. I'm ready to go now.
Come with me. And I start walking towards the stairs.
Do you go with?
And actually stop at the ancestral room and open it up. And meditate with me.
Give me wisdom checks.
Nat one.
Oh,
Waxed.
Nat 1.
oh my god! Seriously?
The two of you take some time, and you're holding hands, and it's just you miss her. There's nothing beyond that. That to ask you to quiet is to ask the seas to freeze and stop, and to ask the sun to stop being what it is. Like, you are a parent's grief, and there is no stronger force in this world. And no matter how hard you try, the dice have proved it that like there's no way for you to stop. And there's a deep breath. Give me one more wisdom check after an hour has sort of passed and you've just been in each other's company.
It's still not great.
Yeah.
It's a 3 + 5.
And mine's a 12 plus 2. So that'll be 14.
Okay. You're starting to calm and breathe as people eat food and sort of visit. People come in and out of the house to sort of check on you and say no updates. Let's just say no update. No one goes to the ancestral room for obvious reasons. There is a very, very angry sort of weasel out in front of the ancestral room that seems to snip and bite at everyone that seems to approach. Zephyr, it is you who, while kneeling, hit that breathing point. And you're back to when she was a baby. And you held her in your arms and she looked at you, and she didn't look at you with fear because you were like her. And she goes, you flash back to the first time she said dad. You know, dad. And there's a weird pause, and the dad gets louder. And it's dad, and as that happens, there is a snap and there is a force, there is a tug on both of you. As that happens, Gray comes running into the front door of the house and going, let's go, it's time, let's go, there's only a little bit of time. As that happens, you are all sort of shuffled out of the room, all still armored up, still with all the weapons and items at your disposal. The portal in front of the transportation circle, normally you step forward into it and are transported to a new realm. There's something different about this. It seems to be like a floating sort of a watery sphere that is in the air. As that happens, you hear otherworldly cries and sounds as the barriers between all worlds and all dimensions has been breached for a small amount of time, because there is nothing that the Academy and that you will not do to save one innocent soul. If that means tearing a hole in the fabric of reality itself, you will do it. As you all stand there,
I've got to, mister.
you've got to. You're clad in armor. You all take one look at each other. As Reggie stands forward, he does something uncharacteristic. He rushes past all of you and hugs you and embraces you. And it's the first time in a long time that you can remember your father hugging you. And he looks at each of you, grabbing you by the shoulders, and he has one more gift. As you go through the portal, he takes a little pin and places it on each of your shirts, and it just says SD for Scooby-Doo. And as the pin is each tagged to one of your shirts, you are pushed through this portal. Time stops and goes wonky, wavy, wibbly wobbly, if you will, as you are tossed around and upside down, and gravity is not what it seems to be. Colors and sounds and things go hazy. You're seeing flashes of places like your world, but not alternate visions and timelines. You wake up in a lush green forest. Before you is all trees. You hear some faint sounds coming from the north. Heroes. What do you do?
I'm actually, if I'm not on my feet, I get to my feet and I looking around, seeing what we're at, what we're facing, and
Sure.
and end up probably in the direction of where the sounds are coming from.
Okay, give me, since you're going forward and doing this, give me a, it's not going to be too hard, give me a survival check, okay? As you're sort of like going around and you're sort of like tracking and trying to distinguish the sounds you're hearing.
I need a new die. That's a 9 altogether.
Grief has still got a bit of a hold on you. You're managing to walk forward towards the sounds. Is anybody else doing anything with their time the minute you land?
I'm going to start investigating the area, looking for any clues to who or what might be around us.
Give me an investigation check as you sort of search around the area.
Nat 1.
You're in a brand new place. As you start to search around the trees and stuff like that, you can't tell if these are just regular trees or things of that sort. You are hearing these sounds that come off that you can't distinguish if they sound like a scuffle or anything like that. What else is everybody doing with their time?
I'll also try to determine where we are.
Give me an investigation check.
That is a 16.
Ooh.
While you all are sort of searching the skies, Nick, you go back to your quiet spot, which has served you well over the years in terms of dealing with grief. You pick up some of the dirt between your hands and you sort of like lift it up and you're smelling it. You're taking time to acknowledge your senses, which has helped you pull you out of those dark places a few times. As you do, and sort of take some of the dirt and drift it down, the wind blows it forward.
I don't know where we are, guys. Sorry.
He doesn't know where you are, but as he looks up and follows this dirt that sort of blows, a shape in the tree line sort of shifts over to the side. It was hard to spot at first because it was green and shaped like the area, like the foliage. It sort of shifts off to the side.
He's the only one that notices this.
Yes, he is.
Alright, I'll look at the rest of the group and I'll eye flick in the direction so that they all know what I'm saying.
Give me an insight check with a low DC, everybody. Who's paying attention to Nick at this point as he sort of flicks his eyes? Everybody's looking for something.
I just was dropping dirt. You guys should all be looking at it.
Is 10...
20 not now.
Yes. 10 is the DC.
24.
Okay, because I got...
Everybody notices as Nick flicks his eyes, and as he does, you guys subtly or not so subtly look, and you see it now. It's something that's sort of faded in with the trees, and I think at this point they notice you too, and a creature steps out from behind the trees, and they are large, at least 7 feet tall, covered in a greenish fur. As they step out from behind the trees, they're wearing rudimentary sort of armor. This one's holding a staff and sort of steps out. Says, "Who are you?"
Do I feel threatened at all in seeing this?
It's not a threatening move at the moment. It's just a curiosity.
I'm gonna reach out with my divine sense. Just get a general feel of their aura, good or evil.
Sure. As you reach out with your divine sense, the divine sense sort of moves over them. There's a bit of a pushback from the creature itself, but as the senses sort of fill you and you channel into that sort of side of you, you realize that this creature is good.
We're friends of the realm.
Friends of what realm?
Whatever realm this may be. We're travelers.
You
in
are.
search of someone.
You are here to help?
We have been sent here under dire circumstances. My daughter. And we search for her.
Whom do you serve? Whom do you serve?
We're from far away. We're just searching for our daughter.
Not shadows.
Never
No
shadows.
shadows.
Goddess of light.
Quickly, and he will outreach a hand to all of you and sort of head back into the forested area.
Follow?
Follow?
Definitely follow.
As you follow, he sort of leads you to an area where these huts and buildings are sort of built into the tree line. Standing somewhat off into the distance, you see many different creatures of this similar shape and make that are sort of interposing themselves between smaller creatures. You realize that these are warriors or people that have gathered sticks and woods, and they're sort of all congregated around a central hut in the middle of this village. They're fighting off what seems to be large shadow-type creatures that have gathered around the hut and are sort of bombarding it as they'll reach forward a little bit, and the creatures will step forward and sort of bat them away.
Is there a line of sight to these shadows creatures?
Yes, I would say they're about, at this point they're 50 feet away, but they're in line of sight of you.
Keel immediately throws his hammer in an attempt to strike the shadows with divine energy surrounding it.
Okay, give me an attack roll. As the Keel winds up and throws this hammer as hard as he can.
While I was doing that, can I do a history check on the creatures? to
Yes,
see
you
if
can.
I-
Give me a history check.
32 to hit.
Can I assist him on that history check?
Yes,
I
you
al-
may.
I also
If
have-
you are proficient in
I
history.
am proficient, and I have a +7, so
Okay, so 17.
you
Oh,
have
oh.
advantage.
19.
Roll damage for me. Tell me what's radiant and what's regular.
I've got 5 points radiant and 14 points of bludgeoning.
Okay. You recognize these creatures as furbolgs. You haven't seen any of them in Boston in a long time. Boston's not the place you're gonna find these guys. There was a while there, Bigfoot, Yeti, possibility of this sort of thing.
Oh,
What about
the
the
furry
shadow
guy,
creatures?
the
Yeah,
shadow.
the furry guys, the shadow creatures. You're familiar at this point with like living shadows,
Right.
like things of this of sort of demonic presence. And sure enough, as you study the movements and sort of turn, I think the simple act of analyzation causes them to turn and look just as the hammer of God strikes down, sort of obliterating the three that were sort of congregating by the door.
Can I draw and ignite my flame tongue greatsword?
Absolutely, you can.
See how they react to that.
These three that were sort of guarding the way, you see others sort of scattered out and about the village that are attacking different points. There's about 15 of them that you see off in your peripheral vision. The gentleman that you met in the woods ushers you forward and runs straight for this central building.
I grab Zuki real quick and face her towards me and put my head against her forehead and actually cast Foresight on her.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna.
You see into the future, basically. You see like 6 seconds, so it's enough to get
Advantage on rolls.
advantage on everything.
And tag rolls, ability
disadvantages,
checks, saving
advantage.
throws, and other creatures have disadvantage on attacks.
And I'm going to follow him and just start sprinting with my.
Perfect.
Okay.
My warhammer returns to my hand.
I'm
Okay,
heading
Thor,
in and
settle
casting
down.
flame blade
It
as
does.
I go.
As you run towards this central building, the man throws open the door, and before you, it's an odd scene, kids. It's real weird. You see one of those living shadows, but this thing is huge, okay? And it's fighting something that's large and green in the center of this room. I need everybody to go ahead and roll initiative for me. Okay?
Ooh, that's a good number.
That's a spooky number for me.
Yay!
What do we got? 20 to 25.
22.
21.
Good. All right. Okay. 20 to 15.
19.
19. 15 to 10.
12.
12.
14.
Okay. So zoom. Okay. Good. This large shadow creature seems to be fighting this large green shape in the room. As the Furblog sort of rushes in, he also will. He is going to start channeling arcane energy to start trying to fight this thing off. All right, Brian, you were up first.
All right. I'm going to use the mystical spell known as Stab Him with my Greatsword.
It's a great spell. Cast it.
I can use it 4 times in a round, so that's a 23.
23 hits.
That's more than a 23.
Okay.
That is also more than a 23.
Okay.
And that is also more than a 23.
Can I just hear it for the dice tower there?
That dice tower is a
Amazing
beautiful.
Dice Towers. Thank you so much. We're using these brand new bad boys tonight, and
All right, so the white dice will be the fire damage, and the not white dice will be the not fire damage.
while you add up damage for me.
Yeah, so whoever is next can go next, and I will report all of the damage to you afterwards.
Zephyr, you are up next.
I'm actually going to hold my action, but put myself in there ready.
What action are you holding?
I'm going to see what he decides to do. Actually, that can be done as a reaction. How's that? I'm going to cast Big V's hand.
Cool. All right. Big B's hand, a large spectral blue hand, sort of appears in his face. Are you doing anything with his hand?
Yep, it's going forward and is going to attempt to grapple.
Okay. What are you grappling? There's two creatures sort of amidst combat in the center of the room. This large sort of green pulsating thing and this this living shadow.
I'm going for the living shadow.
All right. Give me a grapple. Give me an attack roll to hit first.
15 plus. Is it my spell attack or my?
I believe so. I believe it's your spell attack.
Yeah, it's going to be 26 then.
26 to hit. That definitely hits. Give me a grapple check as you sort of like grab onto this thing and squeeze.
15 plus it's 26 strength. I think it's a plus 8 on that.
Yeah, Nat 1's not going to do it. You're a bad boy, Dice. You're not doing good for me at all.
And I believe I can squeeze at this point.
You can. I think that's your. I think casting it is an action, and I think
I'm looking it up right now. I believe
check to make sure that a bonus action is what.
as a bonus action, you can move the hand on subsequent turns. I can move it.
Yeah, subsequent turns. So you've got this thing held now. On subsequent turns, you can squeeze this bad boy.
40 points of slashing and 31 points of fire damage.
It is an amazing move as you see this person who you have spent some time with and you've seen during training. But this is one of the first actual like sort of major combat sessions as he runs forward and slashing the sword. He is a whirlwind as that sword sort of lashes out. All you see is the flame sort of righting itself upon the air, the shadow recoiling and bits of it falling to the wayside. It is still up, but it looks badly hurt. Ada, your turn, and as you go to move, the Furbolg in the room starts channeling arcane energy and sort of pushes it towards you, and as it does, you are hasted.
Wonderful. That's an additional action.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm going to be using all my action to attack this thing. And there's two of them in the room?
Yes, a large green thing and a large shadowy creature that seems to be dwarfing this sort of green wriggling mass.
Okay, I'm going to go for the shadow.
Okay.
Just batting at it with my hammer.
Boom, 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 boom.
First one's a nat 1.
Okay. That's all right.
Second one is a 25 to hit.
25 hits.
Okay.
So you guys watch as Keel sort of steps forward, and as he throws the hammer, a little bit of the shadow that had been falling to the wayside and sort of torn open by you, the hammer just passes through it and sort of strikes at the sort of wooden altar that's in the middle of this room. The second attack rings true as the hammer switches hands and he carves into it from the side.
That is 14 points of bludgeoning, 3 points of radiant.
Okay.
And then second two attacks, that's going to be a 20 to hit.
A 20 does not hit.
Okay. And then a 29 to hit.
29 hits.
Okay.
Just as before, you see as Keel starts to take the time to learn the movements of this shadow. It's taking a little bit longer just to establish sort of where its movements go as it's getting more erratic.
8 points of bludgeoning and 1 point of radiant.
1 point of radiant, okay. All right, Mike.
What can we glean about these creatures? What do we know about the shadow, these living shadows?
The living shadows that you've seen in the past are respond poorly to lights and respond poorly to. This is larger than. It's hard because this shadow is larger than any other one that you've seen in the past. Mm-hmm. Like it's difficult. What you know of shadow creatures before light tends to work really well. Radiant damage. They're very vulnerable to radiant damage, and you're noticing as these radiant damage attacks hit, they're doing a little bit of extra.
All right, I'll use my word of radiance.
Okay.
As I'll move in towards the creature.
All right.
And that is a Constitution save.
All right.
9.
A 9 Constitution save?
19. Sorry.
19. No, it's not going to make that. That is a lot of dice.
Yeah, but
You
it's
ain't
not
seen
that.
nothing yet.
7, 8.
This is a warm-up, kiddos.
That is 8
Okay?
radiant damage.
8 radiant damage. Okay. This thing reacts poorly to it, and it seems to be blasted back a little further away. Zuki, it is now your turn.
Flame blade.
Flame blade.
That is a 24 to hit.
Now, are you making these attacks at advantage just in case you crit?
You do
Because
have
of
advantage.
foresight, you get everything at advantage, right?
Oh,
That lasts for
yeah.
8 hours.
Is it only that one creature that's there?
Yeah, I did not
It's-
crit.
There's a large green mass in the room and a giant shadowy creature.
But I mean, just one shadow.
Just one
Yeah.
shadow.
For
Okay.
hours,
Yeah,
though?
just making sure.
It's 8 hours.
It's 8 hours.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's awesome.
Wow. Jeez.
Send her the specifics. Take a screenshot and send her the
Yep,
specifics.
I can also look it up.
Yeah.
Then it's a 26 to hit.
26 hits.
Oh, that's nice.
I love hearing that.
Roll high.
18. 23.
With a final sort of sweep channeled by the magic sent to her by her husband, by the love of her life, she feels the magic sort of radiating forward, and as the shadow sort of starts to dodge out of the way, Zuki moves with it, instinctively seeing where it was going to go, jams the flame blade forward as the flames lick upward. They travel up to the mouth of this thing, and there's one loud, guttural scream, and the shadow disappears and dissipates, and I puff a smoke before it could do anything cool.
there are other shadows left.
There are
Outside.
shadows outside. As this shadow dissipates, this green mass stops moving around as much, and the head of a large caterpillar sort of cocks its head to the side and looks at all of you and says, "Who are you? Who do I owe my lives to?"
Before answering, Keel is heading out of the cottage to go deal with the other shadows.
As you step out of the cottage, give me a perception check.
That is a 20 on that.
You don't see any shadows. A lot of the creatures look as stunned as you do as you step out of this cottage. However, off in the distance, you're seeing, even though it is sort of daytime in the woods, you're seeing a bit of patch of darkness off in the distance, away from the village a little bit, almost like storm clouds have moved in.
About how far?
I would say about 100 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna go position myself near the edge of the little.
I'll tell the caterpillar that we weren't here to save him. I'll tell him that we're here for their daughter. Does he know where she might be held? And I'll describe her.
He looks at you, and then he sort of like his head like turns, but as it turns, like there's for a brief second you see the image of like two heads like there, like it's almost like almost like he's moving so fast that
Like an after image kind of a
like
thing?
an after image sort of thing as he turns to look at the two of you. Says, "What's your daughter's name?"
And I'm going to say Affyria, but at the same time, I'm gonna look for something around me where I can use druidcraft, where I can do a flower opening or something like that. I'm assuming in this sort of village, there's gonna be a lot of things around.
As you do, what are you? You're crafting a flower.
Yes,
What kind of flower?
Pretty.
a purple one.
As you craft this purple flower, the other furbolg in the room sort of drops his staff to the ground and looks over at the caterpillar. And the caterpillar once again turns to look at the furbolg, and you get the same quick after image. So, it belongs to her. It belonged to her. The flower. And the caterpillar looks back and says, "We can assist you. She is important.
Yes.
It will take energy. But we see how important she is, not just to you, but to everything. Do you understand?"
I don't know that we do, but
He claps his hands, and there is a loud sigh from the furblog in the room, and he nods his head. And he walks out of the hut, and he looks out at all the other furblogs who have seemed to gather around the large hut, and he says, "It is time to go."
Does he know what I know of Affyria?
Does he know what you know of Affyria?
Yeah.
You want to give me an insight check?
What do you know of Affyria?
It was enough to do terrible things for him. That is a 21.
There's probably a knowing glance at you.
It's nothing I could say out loud.
It's nothing you could say out loud, but there's probably a knowing glance at you.
Okay.
Do we notice this glance at all?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty obvious. But the caterpillar just sort of nods his head towards Nick a little bit.
What's that all about?
It's not important right now.
Yes, everything is important right now.
Yeah, we're going to get your daughter. Let's
Your
focus on that.
daughter is important.
Yes.
She is more important than us. You have to find her.
Yes.
Every innocent soul is important, and he understands that he is not keeping secrets that you don't already know.
Where is she? How can you help us?
We can send you to the next. But that is all we can do.
Send us
The magic
what?
is strong.
Send us
Send us.
what?
She is not here.
Then just
Let's go.
As you step out of the hut, there's chanting that seems to be echoing out from all around you. Keel, as you're standing forward and sort of staring off into the darkness, the furblogs have gathered around in a large circle around their village, grasping hands, holding onto each other as the dark sort of energy coalesces into that of a brilliant blue. As that happens, the green of some of the furblogs starts to shimmer, and you see that same after image again. You see that same sort of where they're there and they're not there, and there's a look and a gone. But this time, some of the villages, some of the areas, the huts are taking on that same image, where they're flashing and doing this, and the caterpillar comes out of the hut, growing larger and larger and smaller and smaller and larger and larger, and he says, "Go, find her."
well, it's a portal. Do what you do best.
Are the people are disappearing?
They're
fading out?
they're there and they're not. They're there.
Yes,
Is there
village
something
is
we
there.
see as
the
a portal?
village, the
or-
huts,
Oh my
all of
God,
it.
this is
There and
this
there's
is
not.
the time. This is what.
There.
Oh God, I want to stay. No, we go through the portal.
As you run through the
Frick.
portal, there is a smile as the man from before reaches out to you, and as he does, he has a flower in his hands and he drops it, and as he does, the village, the huts, all of it disappear. One lone purple flower falling and hitting the ground as you jump through the portal, and you hear a soft voice come in from behind, going, "Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?" As you jump through the portal, is a voice you do not recognize, and you see the faint image of a female furblog that's walking back into the village.
Oh my God.
You jump through the portal. There's the sound of rushing and twirling and swirling as you jump through this next portal. As you do, this landing is a lot rougher than the last one. You're landing at this point into what looks to be a battlefield. Before you are groups of people that seem to be fighting. They're all of different sort of makes. You see what looks to be like sort of mer people. You see what looks to be elven warriors emblazoned with a sun crest on the middle of their chest that seem to be fighting against different sort of creatures of darkness. Before you, you're enraptured by this battle that seems to be large barbarians, sort of like half-orcs stumbling into this battle, swinging at some of these abominations, as another group that seems to be riding dinosaurs comes running past all of you at this point. The sound that you hear is the sound of thunder and screaming as all of you turn back to look at this moment as a blimp falls from the sky, crashing into the largest creature you've ever seen, and one lone gnome waving his hat in the air as he crashes this thing down, and it explodes in a fiery explosion, sending this creature to the pits of hell and back. You are blown backwards. This is the battlefield that you see in front of you. Heroes, what do you do?
Is there a way of, do we see a distinction between both battles?
You're seeing different creatures. Right now there's as much confusion about you as you're having about the battlefield itself. For the most part, you're seeing occasionally groups of healers will come by and run and heal some of the like you're seeing gnomes that are rushing into the field and sort of healing people. You're also seeing like a few dragonborns that seem to have joined the fray from late into the battlefield and are sort of rushing in. The only figure that you can see that looks to be in any sort of not immediate peril, that seems to almost be enjoying this to a point, was the gnome that crashed headfirst into this creature, and two, an elf who seems to be facilitating the forces all about him, sort of pushing forces back, saving innocents and pulling them backwards towards lines and sort of facilitating, but he seems to be doing it with words, and occasionally he will reach up and touch his band that's wrapped around his head and sort of reach out and sort of control forces in that way. It's hard to distinguish friend from foe in this situation. However, there are some random attacks that are going to start coming your way should you choose to stay still.
Halberd is out, taking point to just anyone that comes our way that looks like they're threatening. I'm going to just jab to keep at bay.
Give me an intimidation check. I'll say give this an advantage as you're strange and you don't have as... You're probably an imposing figure at this point with all these weapons strapped to you. So give me an intimidation at advantage.
Okay, intimidation. That's one thing I don't have a plus on, but fortunately it was an 18, so 18.
For the most part, a lot of these creatures, be them friendly or foe, it's hard to tell because they don't know what you are either. But you guys cut an imposing swath. I think you've forgotten how much as a tiefling you still stand out no matter what realm you're in. Between all of you in the intimidation checks, there's a scream and a yell as you sort of keep things at bay and rush to a central point. There's a large sort of building that reaches up into this cliff side, and you guys manage to push yourselves against the cliff side and sort of set yourselves apart from it.
Does it feel like the forces of darkness are attacking this?
Give me an insight check.
Can I give that advantage?
Yeah, you can take it as advantage.
Good thing.
You feel
That much better.
You feel the comforting hand of Keel on your back that's like, you got this, old man. And you're like, why'd you call me old?
Still my heart. That's going to be a 23.
It looks to be, from what you can gather, and from the iconology and the religious iconology, the forces of the sun and the people that seem to be working with the forces of the sun are assailing the building that you now have your backs against, which looks to be all these little alcoves that are carved into like a cliffside. And it looks to be like they're attacking this sort of building.
Do we recognize the sigil of the sun? Is it something that we're familiar with?
Give me a religion check or an arcana check. This would probably be religion.
Or history?
Yeah, you know what? I'd be convinced of history.
Good. That'll be a 22 then.
This is one of the elven gods. It's the god of Solinar, I believe?
Yes.
Solinar, yeah. One of the good sort of the gods in the elvish pantheon, the god of light.
And so are we able to determine who is leading the forces of good?
Yeah, you think it to be the elf that was sort of standing back, sort of delivering out commands to people, yelling, you there, go this way, this way, and then sort of holding a hand up to
I'm gonna lean over my shoulder to Keel, because I'm just like kind of, holding the pole arm, the halberd out. Anyone that tries to get close, I just kind of turn around. So, old man, what do we do?
Make it to her. Or him.
Make it to him?
Mm-hmm.
They're elves. It's don't
Yeah,
assume
it's hard to
their
tell the
gender. Don't
difference.
assume their gender.
Let's cut a path.
All right, and we'll just
I'm
start.
casting locate creature, and I'm searching, and I'm fighting, and I'm searching
For Affyria?
for Affyria.
Are you using like the ring or the neck, or you're
No,
just like...
I have locate creature.
Okay, give me the
Any
specifics
creature
of
that's-
locate
okay,
creature.
describe or name a creature that is familiar to you. It can be a humanoid, I just checked.
What's the range?
It is. It's only 1,000 feet, so which is why I'm walking and searching and walking.
Do you track it if it's moving?
It lasted an hour. I sense the creature's location as long as the creature's within 1,000 feet. If it's moving, I know the direction of its movement.
You cast this spell. I'm gonna let you determine this. Give me 2d20s. What's the first one you put in the dice tower?
17.
What's the second one you put in the dice tower?
6.
You catch it. You catch it. It's real quick. It's a real quick blip, but it's on the other, like you're here. It's on the other side of the field, like through the battlefield, past where the blink fell. And as you stare forward, off in the distance, you see him.
I'm shouting at them to let them know where I'm going, and I'm running.
I'm with her.
Where?
There's no way.
I said,
Across the battlefield. So all of a sudden, you see Zuki go, I found her. I see her. And as she sets off, she tears a path.
I want to
straight down
look.
this battlefield.
Can I see?
Give me a perception check. I'll give you perception or investigation. You choose.
Investigation. 18.
You see.
I see who?
You see Malmarthir at the edge of this battlefield,
I see Malmarthir and
holding
Affyria.
holding a small girl's hand, and as it does, he turns back and makes eye contact with you.
Okay,
Looks
I
very
am going to
confused across
use a
the
charge
battlefield.
from my ring and switch places with Affyria.
Okay.
Affyria has to make a DC 19 Wisdom save because I can't imagine unless she's willing to switch places with me and be over here with her mom and dad.
But she wouldn't know.
I know, but it's still, unless she's willing to switch places and be with Mom and
Hey, I'm trying to lobby the DM here. Come on, man.
I need you to do me a favor.
Okay.
I need you to honestly tell me what Affyria's wisdom was. Do you know off the top of your head? As you look this up?
I can look it up real quick. Because I cannot remember off the top of my head because I'm super distracted right now.
It's okay. It's a DC 19, right?
DC 19 Wisdom save.
Okay.
Okay. Oh gosh, she's 3 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 3. I have a lot of Affyrias out there.
That's okay.
But I will leave her up just in case. Her wisdom save is a +2.
You extend a hand outward, and as it does, the hands you twist the cufflinks, and as you do, there's an arcane snap as an invisible force zigzags its way across the battlefield, beelining for Affyria. And as it does, Malmarthia looks at the cufflinks, looks at the girl, and goes to cast a spell, but the cufflinks cut through it, grabbing onto Affyria's hand, and then you are standing there face to the man that killed your father across the battlefield, and you both look down and see Affyria standing next to you.
I grab her.
As you
I
grab,
say, hello, sunshine.
hello dear, let's talk. And his eyes go black, and that's where we're gonna take a quick intermission.
I'm sorry I had to die, but hey, get the girl out of
We're
here!
at 9:15, and this is gonna cook once it gets to a certain point, and I feel like it's better to take it now. So we're gonna take a quick 5-minute intermission. Go use the restroom, go get some more drinks if you have to get a drink, or get some more food, and we will be right back as soon as we are possibly able to. I've never had players hurriedly get their food and drinks as
Fastest intermission ever.
Welcome back. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight for this sort of closure episode. There's a lot of tears at the beginning of this part, and I wonder if there's going to be some more as things continue. Let's actually go back to the action as Michael is
Ben.
Ben.
Yeah, as Michael's cufflinks have just transported Ben to switch places with Affyria, and Affyria stands next to the two of you. Hi, beautiful. Someone familiar. Lord Mama Affyria looks at you and just says, well, you've got me. I give up. You win. You got the girl. I would like to turn myself in, please.
There's no rests here.
What is
How
your...
far away are we, honestly?
Well, you guys just go on the other side of the battle.
Yeah, but what's the range of that?
Let's say her spell clocked in, so it's pretty damn far. She had 1,000-foot range
1,000
on that,
foot.
so it's about 1,000 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna take us a little while to get there.
Yeah.
But you guys should leave.
You surrender.
I just don't know.
I do.
Right now.
I wish to be taken into full custody.
And what does that mean exactly?
That means that I would like to be taken back to the plane that you all are going to, and we just, I'd be locked in a prison for the rest of my days, or you turn me over to the fairy courts. Whichever you prefer. It's what your father would have wanted. The one I killed. You remember.
You do realize that you do not get a say in this, and that mentioning his name is not going to help you in this particular matter.
Well, that's true. Oh, would it help if I gave you some of his blood? I still have some. I kept it as a souvenir. Sometimes when I'm having a rough day, I just take over that shirt and I take a great big inhale, and it really is a wonderful feeling.
He slings the halberd over his shoulder.
No? You're not going to take me back?
Oh no, I don't believe I'm going to take you back. I believe I'm probably going to kill you. But I'm sure that there are other people that are on their way over here right now who have at least as large a claim to your blood as I do, and I've been doing a very good job of letting go of my anger of late, and I feel it's only right to see if they've let go of theirs as well. I don't want to act unilaterally, you see. But
That's fair. Let's cycle back as you see this sort of odd conversation happening across the battlefield. Some of you are keeping, you I imagine are keeping things at bay now since he's left, correct? And sort of, but Affyria is there, and Affyria is
And
just
it's
like,
Affyria. Like, I know it's her.
it looks like her, it smells like her, it like, I mean, you're hugging her, like she's. Hi, mommy.
Hi,
I chaos bolted a lot of people.
I'm sure you did, sweetie.
It was great.
Yeah.
While this is going on, I'm actually casting Synaptic Circle.
Okay.
It's a teleportation or synaptic static teleportation circle and drawing men on the ground.
Sure. How long is the casting time for this?
Is 1 minute.
So you watch as Zephyr starts casting this spell.
We can't leave them on their own. We need to get her to safety, but we can't leave them on their own. I mean, I can shift. I can take her.
A message hits your brain. Zephyr, do you forgive me?
I'm gonna do what I can to keep my concentration.
How about now, Zeph? And Affyria that you're holding in your arms starts dissipating into water and ice.
No.
As the Simulacrum's magic begins to fade as it is dispelled.
Have I lost the spell slot?
I would say you haven't finished yet.
Okay.
In this version of Affyria, sort of dissipates.
My sword is out and on fire at this point.
Ooh, that looked like it would hurt. Counter proposal. I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw, big guy.
All right.
And I'm immediately casting,
Running.
as soon as I can, Investiture of Fire.
That will be a 20.
You feel as this magic sort of reaches out towards you, and he's expecting it fully to take effect, and as it sort of washes over you and fades, a genuine look of fear and panic goes over him.
And when a creature within 5 feet of me casts a spell, I can use my reaction to make a melee attack against him, because I have Mage Slayer.
You can. Give me an attack roll.
So I would like to stab him.
I'm simultaneously turning into an air elemental, which can fly 90 feet per minute, or per whatever, and I am flying straight towards him.
Okay, good.
That will be a 30 to hit.
30 hits.
Do I need to differentiate between fire and normal damage?
No, you do not.
Alright, then I will just total up all of these dice, and I can reroll the 2 on the slashing but not the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And so that got bumped, that's still a 2, 7, 14. What is my damage? That looks like 19 points of damage.
19 points of damage.
Yes. And now can I take a turn? Since that was my reaction?
Yeah, I'll let you roll the initiative.
Alright. Oh, nat 20.
Me too.
23 total. He's probably better than that because he's a nimble mother.
Mother
From you, okay? I learned it from watching you.
Yeah.
He goes first.
Indeed he does.
And dimension doors away.
Yeah, he does, bastard.
Of course he did.
But you can use your new reaction to take another shot.
Very good, I shall.
I'm going to play this fair.
Yep. Oh, that's gonna hit.
Okay?
18 on the die. Alright, can reroll that 2, but not the 1 because the 1 is fire damage. 10, 15 plus 5, 20 points of damage.
He takes another hit, and it hurts. And disappears.
Bastard.
He bleeds, he can die.
Zuki, you race across the battlefield as a water elemental, sort of cutting a swath through the air, flying through the air as fast as you can. I will say you get 90 feet per
round,
move.
yeah.
It takes you a while, but you finally get to the spot where Benjamin
Is on his knees.
Is on his knees,
Leaning
just
on
sort
his
of
sword.
looking at his hand and his sword covered in blood, and Malmarthia not anywhere near there.
That's not enough blood.
I know, I'm sorry. He did his usual magic trick. Taunting and running. I stabbed him twice.
Perception checks. 2 of you.
I get advantage on that.
You do.
Okay. 26.
17?
You don't hear it, but you hear the faint chuckle coming from the area carved into the stone up top as one of the little alcoves as he sort of looks down at you and laughs, and you think it's just loud enough for you to hear, or you don't know if it's the spell that he cast that allows you to see that 6 seconds into the future, but you catch a quick glimpse of him, and as you look up in water elemental form, I imagine?
Air elemental, yeah.
Air elemental form at this point, he sort of looks at you and backs away down one of these little stone alcove areas.
I'm flying after him. I mean, I'm in air elemental form. It's going to be harder for him to hit me.
I don't suppose you can carry anyone in that form.
I don't know. That's what I'm looking up right now.
Boys, what are you doing?
No.
Alright.
Zephyr will bring them back. Keel kneels down, kind of fist hits the ground, and angelic wings sprout from him, and there's a large radiant glow.
Yes, yes, it does. So all of you that are back at this point, you watch as Keel doing something that he's never done, I think, in front of ever before. Punches the ground as hard as he can, manifesting a set of celestial angelic wings that sort of unfurl out from about him. As it does, the people on the battlefield stop for a minute, and it's one of those like odd moments where everybody stops fighting, and then just like probably one lone goblin off in the distance is like. What do? Do you take off?
I take off. Are they headed up towards, or are they?
You watch as the air elemental that was sort of flies off. Malmarthir you haven't seen, you don't know what's going on, but Zuki, who was an air elemental, is flying towards him about 1,000 yards away from you.
And I'm just sprinting back through. I've got both my I've got my actually I probably still have my sword out. But I'm like not trying to stab anyone. Anyone that tries to get anywhere close to me,
so you're running with your sword?
I'm like running, and just like anybody that gets close, I'm just like batting them out of the way.
Sure.
Now, actually, I got the sword sheath, but I'm just like if anyone tries to bug me, it's just like backhanding them.
There's no way I can reach her at my speed.
And
but
she's
I'm gonna try and intercept best that I can.
Okay. You fly off into this little stone alcove. As you do, you're actually greeted by the sight of like a few different air elementals that seem to be like coalesced at this point, like that seem to be flying in and about. As a small elvish girl sort of runs down a hallway, stops and sees you, and says hello to you in Auran.
I wouldn't recognize her, right?
No.
But okay.
She just looks at you.
But you know exactly who it is.
But she says hello to you in Auran.
Where'd he go?
Where'd who go?
The elf.
Do you have a cookie?
Later, where'd the elf go?
She takes a cookie out from her pack and like gives it to you. It's like, you look like you need this.
Thank you.
And then she sort of like points down a hallway.
God, I can't. I need to go, but I need to leave a note, and I can't. I'm just gonna keep following. Hopefully, they can see what direction I'm going.
Sure. Be dashing the entire way.
I know. But it's a tough pull. It's a tough pull. So you dash off towards the hallway. As you do, short enough, with your speed as I think as an Auran and flying at the speed you're going to, you'll catch Malmarthia, who happens to be in a room, who's sifting through what looks to be a pile of ash and sort of debris in this room, finding something that he recognizes. He coalesces a bit of the ash and things in this room and sort of wraps his hands around it.
I'm going to ask a DM permission question.
Sure.
I have this spell,
Okay.
Dramatic Glitter,
Yes.
where I can conjure glitter that I would normally throw in a person's face and it would affect their charisma.
Correct.
However, rather than doing that, can I use the spell Dramatic Glitter, but instead use it as breadcrumbs? Leave it on the floor as I'm going.
I will allow it. I love it. It's unique. It's fun. Yeah.
All right.
However,
Okay.
And that floor is now really persuasive.
and an air elemental cast spells.
Ooh. I can cast spells now in my wild shape, and this is a wild shape.
Then
So add with verbal and somatic components.
our air element, you can transform into air elementals, Suzuki.
As wild shape, yes. I can wild shape.
Yes, she
into
can
it-
use one of
into
her
air
wild
elementals
shapes
now.
to become an element.
I can talk and yeah.
Yeah. I will say after a time, you start spreading glitter all over the floor. You hear the little elf go, "Ooh, pretty," and like as she sort of runs down a hallway, you see just as she's joined by like a small gnome and some other figures down this hallway, and sort of disappears off into the night. But as you do, you sort of stumble into this room. Malmarthia, who's gathered up a bit of ash and things on the ground, and sort of coalesced them into his hand and is whispering incantations into his hand.
So he's within 30, 60 feet of me?
Absolutely. Woo! Whoa! Let's get that.
Malmarthir right there.
Let's get
Wow.
that outside, because that smoke is coming.
It's gonna get stinky. We're gonna pause for just a minute because we just had a light bulb
Technical
explode.
Malmarthia just attacked. Watch your hands, Bubba.
Yeah,
Watch your
let's
hands.
just keep
Yeah.
the umbrella.
Yeah, I'll just leave the
I just bump it out the front door,
Okay.
Yeah, be careful.
because it's gonna stink up.
Attack of the elf.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that does smell awful. You're
Yep.
right.
Wow.
Wow.
Such a
Things blowing
bad.
out bulbs before.
Boom, no. Boom, no.
No, 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 no. No, no, no.
Right here.
I was gonna go technical difficulties, but I feel like this is behind the
Uh,
scenes right here.
What do you do? Yeah, this is a little peek behind the
All
kimono.
right.
Uh, so,
And
what,
we're back.
so what are you doing right now with your move?
Okay. Coming up behind him with my scimitar. Yeah. Honestly, this is stupid, but I am going to come up behind him and turn out of my elemental form with the scimitar to his throat. I'm not gonna kill. Yeah, because I want to know where she is. But that's what I'm attempting to do. I know I'm probably gonna have to roll for it, but that's what I'm attempting to do.
Are you doing this stealthily? You're trying to get like the drop on him while he
Yeah,
has
because
some
I'm an
back
air
here?
elemental, so I can come up super stealthily.
Okay, so give me stealth as an air elemental
Okay.
first.
Stealth elemental.
Stealth elemental. New
So-
band name, Colin.
My stealth is
Plus 11.
plus 11, and I'm still at advantage even as an air elemental because it's still affecting me.
Yes.
19 was the first one. 19, 7. Okay, so that is a 30 stealth.
She's like the wind.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, you stealthily sort of creep up behind him and put the scimitar to his throat.
It is pressed into his throat. It is probably drawing blood, but not slicing.
Zuki?
How
I would recognize that anger anyway. How are you, dear?
I don't want to talk about this. I want to know where she is.
I heard you had a bit of a reunion.
I press harder.
Well, punching bag takes another few points of damage. Yes. Well, she's not here. I don't have her per se, but she's being held very safely, very comfortably in a place called Eberron. Would you like me to take you to her?
That would be swell.
Oh, all right. I'd be happy to do that.
And why are you going to take us there?
Because it is time. I'm tired of running. I tried to turn myself in to the boy, but he would have none of it. I'm done. I've recanted my ways.
I don't trust you.
Here, let me show you. And he begins casting a spell.
Wait. I stop him. If I have to push down his arm, I'll do that. If I have to tighten the blade, I'll tighten it.
He stops.
How long has this been? How close would they be to being? I know not all of them can fly up, but
Do you just wait in this spot for a little bit of time then?
yeah, I want to stall him to let them get closer to where I am.
How do you stall Malmarathia?
Why'd you take her?
She's important, Zuki, and I hate you. Is there really any other reason that I need beside that?
I don't believe that you just got tired of running, and that's why you decided to give up on this.
I can't get tired. Am I not fallible? Granddaughter?
Not in this way.
I see your point.
You deserve that and more.
You know what? Kill me.
I want her back.
Kill me.
If I kill you, I won't get her back.
He begins casting a spell.
I stop him.
How?
I press harder.
With the knife?
Yes.
He continues casting the spell.
I pull down his hand.
Give me a attack roll to see if you can grapple him.
13.
At advantage.
Thank you. 16 plus, that's strength.
16 minus 1.
Well, it's an
It's an attack to see if you can hit
Just
first.
go to your actions.
Oh, okay. Okay, then that's a 16 plus 5. Okay, I'm okay. 21.
Okay. Yeah, let's give me a grapple check.
Now roll strength.
Now it's the
Now roll strength. Okay.
At advantage.
Yep. 18 minus 1, 17.
He breaks free of the grapple. As he does, I need you to give me a charisma saving throw.
And now within 30 feet of her.
I will give her this and then put you at 30 feet away from her.
That is an 11.
I have to do it.
No, do it.
He begins to cast a spell, and as he does, he takes out a jewel worth about 1,000 gold pieces behind him. He says, I'm not even sure if this is going to work, but it's been a hell of a ride. And as he does, he casts planar binding, which allows him to bind a celestial, an elemental, or a fae or a fiend to his service. And because you are in air elemental form, you are now...
No, she dropped out of air
out
elemental.
of air elemental.
She's
Because
still
I
fey now.
did the
Ooh, that's true.
scimitar.
Okay. That would have been so much fun. So instead,
She's still half fey though, right?
she is...
I am half fey.
Ooh, that's even more fun.
I technically am 3/4 fey.
You are 3/4 fey.
I mean, I don't want to help you here, but
I'm gonna allow it.
I'll allow myself to do
It's
this.
nice of you to allow your own plan to.
You have control over your left hand. So everything else is in his control. Mind, body, right hand. Your left hand belongs to you. Zuki, I'm afraid. I think Keel's coming up the stairs and I want you to stop him.
Before we quite go there, I have the ability to fly as well. I just never got that opportunity.
Let's cut to outside.
How fast is your
I'm glad they just left.
It's a
Oh, you're fast.
faster than him.
I think at this point you two have hooked up and are trying to find some sort of emergency entrance into this. Like
You can't fly.
you're like, okay guys, let's come up with a plan. And then Keel flies away. You're like, Zephyr, it's you and me.
Randy flies. So it's
You don't just
oh, it's
fly
me.
like that,
Okay,
right?
so
So tough crowd.
I'll be trying to move across the battlefield.
You're trying to move across and
It's
stuff
like,
like that.
all right, is there a catapult anywhere or a
Yeah.
slingshot?
Is there a nicapult anywhere around here?
As Keel sort of goes out and turns around the corner and you're flying, how are you flying, Zeph?
I'm actually going to do a full manifest.
Zuki doesn't see this. You see this. You two are still out and about, so I will allow you to see this. Hey, Zephyr, explain to everybody what they see.
Well, due to my ancestry, I'm able to. Shall I just tell you what they see?
Tell me what they see, Zephyr.
Excuse me. You see the form of an ancient gold dragon as it forms around me, and as it coalesces and comes inside, I actually metamorph into a young gold dragon, not quite as big as the image you saw, and I leap into the air with a down flap of my wings. The hell you will! That was to him saying.
Do you want to pick up anybody on your way in?
Well, and that's, I don't know, do they get a chance to jump on the back? Because my concern isn't them right now.
Yeah, I would say you want to jump on. You're not going to
There
jump
would
on
be
Puff
zero
Dragon?
chance that I would jump on Puff the Magic Dragon.
No thanks, Teach. I'll take the F.
Yeah.
I've
Zephyr,
got to be true to myself.
what is your flying speed?
80.
I'll say that you get there first then. Zuki, Zephyr's coming up the stairs and he wants to stop me. So I would like you to take care of this, please. And as he does, Malmarthia takes a little bit
So much flavor.
Good
So
enough.
much.
Malmarthia coalesces a little bit of the dust and soot that was on the ground as it coalesces into a eyeball off of the ground.
No.
As he coalesces the dust into the form of an eyeball, he shoves that eyeball in his head, and it begins to sort of move around of its own accord, finally settling down to a spot. Much better. And he leans backward as another one of those portals sort of opens up behind him. I had to track that sucker down.
Is it what I think it is?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it was from his ashes
So,
when he disintegrated himself,
Zeph,
right?
Okay.
So
I'm
when
gonna-
he he's gone. He's gone.
he goes
Gone?
through the portal
So am I released?
of the planar
Well,
binding.
he didn't
Yeah.
disintegrate himself.
Is that concentration?
But when he was disintegrated.
And it wasn't him that was disintegrated, but it was someone else.
Oh, that was him.
But they happen to be wearing, or they happen to be holding
Yes.
it. It is not. It is not a concentration spell, and the duration is 24 hours.
Oh, frick.
It's gonna need a high level dispel magic is what it's gonna need.
You guys are so smart. We're running off.
Always split the party.
You'll probably get in there before.
If you leave a different plane of existence, it specifically returns to the spot you cast the spell at and waits there following instructions.
It returns the
So
person
it
who
casts a
is
spell.
down.
If you were anywhere but that spot, but because he cast it right there, if you were anywhere else in the world, you'd return to that spot and carry out the instructions, the exact spot he cast it, which is right where you
So
are.
I cannot leave the spot that I'm in for 24 hours.
You
Left
follow
arm count.
instructions.
Okay.
So Zeph, as you turn the corner, you see Zuki frozen in place,
Okay.
standing in front of a portal.
When I got to the window, which is where I'm assuming I would have flown,
Yeah.
I go to a partial manifest.
Okay.
So I take human form, or tiefling form in this case, but I still have the gold scales.
What do you say?
And go walking in. I go, where is he? Zuki.
And I can't talk. I can't do anything. Or he's instructed me to take care of Zephyr.
Not in that way.
He's instructed you to stop Zephyr.
To stop Zephyr.
It's way more dramatic if I allow you to walk here. You're fully aware of what you have to do.
And I'm
And
walking
the only thing
forward,
I have control over
Is
my
your left hand.
and I continue to walk forward and to take her in my arms.
Stop.
Stop.
And I'm clenching my left hand so hard.
Give me insight check at disadvantage, buddy.
Can I go up to Headband Elf?
Yeah, start making your way across the headband out.
Because I've been
I
just
think
like
I needed
sprinting and going,
disadvantage.
son of a.
My good roll is a 7.
Oh dear.
That's
You
going to
don't-
be an 8.
She's asked you to stop just clenching are you unclenching and clenching or just clenching your left hand?
Yeah, it's a struggle with the hand. I'm struggling against the muscles. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's almost like her hand's asleep. She's asked you to stop.
I reach toward her and with both hands.
He's gone. Don't follow him.
Is there a portal open still?
Now, is this her or is this him saying that? Because if she doesn't have,
We have to follow him.
she doesn't have control of it.
You're not there, so we.
Don't follow him.
What do you mean don't follow him? He has
Don't
a daughter.
follow him.
She's in trouble.
How can we not follow?
You
Zuki,
can't
what is
follow.
wrong? Do I think that there's something going on by this time?
You flash back to a moment that's a while ago, right after you transformed, and you're banging against the wall in the mirror, and Zuki's running up to you, and this is before you got together. She's says, "What's wrong? Talk to me."
Come on, we must. And I start dragging on her.
I won't go.
And by this time, I'm. How close is he coming up behind?
Let's cut to outside. You go up and talk to Chaudre Ian. No.
Pardon me, you don't know me, but
No, I don't. What do you need?
I need to get inside there quickly.
It's so weird how we have very similar voices, you and I.
It is. I don't understand it myself.
It's almost uncanny.
It's like looking in a mirror.
It really is. Very handsome. Yes, so you're trying to get up there.
Yes. I have some friends in there, and an evil, scheming, manipulative. I could throw more adjectives. Killed my father, kidnapped her daughter.
He goes, enough said. I just rolled a nat 20 on my insight, and he summons two giant eagles from the group, and each one swoops down and
Picks
picks you up, and one of the giant eagles comes over to you, and it's like, ah!
Yes, him too.
Thanks,
please.
Frodo!
Eagles solve all our problems.
And he cocks his head, and the other eagle speaks to this. How do you do, my name is Frodo? And carries you to the window. Keel, you are there at this point. You two are being flown up
We'll
by
be there in a few rounds.
giant eagles.
Okay, so I
Good
walk in,
move.
Take me to Mordor.
and so I just see Zephyr dragging on Zuki. Is that what?
Zuki's not letting him go through the portal. And she keeps clenching and unclenching her left hand.
Okay.
Give me an insight check at disadvantage.
That's going to be a math 12.
Math 12. It's weird. She's acting funny.
Funny in a magic sense, or just funny?
Funny in a funny sense.
Funny in a funny sense. Zephyr, what's going on?
She refuses. She won't. She's stopping me.
That really clears it right up.
It's Zephyr's eloquence in situations like this.
No wonder she fell for him.
Stay on track, yeah. Stay in character.
Stopping you from Mount Marth here? Zuki, why are we stopped?
I flick him off, which is a very uncharacteristic Zuki thing.
Zuki flipped you off with her left hand.
I grab, so my angel wings kind of fold in around Zuki, and I put my hand on her forehead, and I use my ability, Cleansing Touch, which ends a spell on a willing creature.
Oh.
I could kiss you right now.
You should decide on a willing creature at this point.
That's a tough question.
She's 1/4 willing at least.
When Zuki was pregnant and she didn't have anybody to talk to, her and Keel would talk. And how would Keel snap her out of her funk?
With a reassuring hold on her left hand, more than often than not.
The angelic wings encircle you. And you remember those times when you were back at home, and it was hard. Everybody would try to say things to make you feel better and do things to make you feel, and just tell you to snap out of it, give you tips and tricks. While all of this was happening, Heel, without saying anything, would come over and squeeze your left hand. To just be a presence. It's what he is.
Can I retcon the touching of the forehead to grab her hand?
Yeah. And with those angelic wings folded around you, Keel grabs your left hand, and the spell of planar binding falls away.
Thank you.
I'll unfurl my wings and look to Zephyr. And just back away a little bit.
And I throw my arms around Zuki and
Sorry. I couldn't.
no, let's go.
Let's go.
As they say, let's go, the giant eagles sort of like drop you off, up
Yeah.
front, and I'm sure there's a wave to Shadra.
Yeah,
Shadra, and
we give a wave to him, and
the eagle looks at you and Nicholas and bows his head and says, "Caw!" His caw translated to "You will always be friend of Frodo the giant eagle," and your call translated to "Donde está la biblioteca?"
this private party, or can anyone join?
You are all in the room in a much different way than I thought you would be, but you are now in the room with the portal that Malmarthia jumped through before.
I grab Zephyr's hand and I say, I'm gonna kill him. And I run towards the portal.
Following along, sword on fire.
Keel standing in the room with Nick, still just glowing, looking at him.
I didn't know you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Was it Nick?
I don't know much about Asimar biology, so.
Nick, Keel begins to look at you. He's still sort of glowing with radiant energy.
You okay?
Why wouldn't I be?
It's been a long time. Just want to make sure you're good.
I think we established that.
I'll clap Nick on the shoulder and kind of push him through the portal.
Not used to physical touch. It's been a while.
It's awkward. It's awkward.
It's
like
awkward
I haven't
as hell.
hugged anybody in probably 10 years.
But this is as he smacks you on the shoulder, this is the closest Keel comes to doing like big old hugs, and that radiance, whatever sort of radiant magic, the last of it filters through his hand and into you.
It's warm.
It is warm.
You all jump through the
But
portal
familiar.
into a tavern.
Into a what?
Into a tavern.
A tavern.
There are people that seem to be drinking of different makes and models, and they seem to be enjoying each other's company. It is not. Everyone sort of turns and looks towards this little area where all 5 of you manifest into the bar, and then there's a stop where like everybody kind of stops, and it's that scene in the movie where the music stops and everybody looks, and then everybody just goes right back to drinking and talking in the bar and having polite conversation.
I step up to the nearest creature, person, whatever it happens to be, to where we came through.
Sure. You see behind the bar, it's an on-site, you see a large robotic bartender who seems to be slinging drinks and sort of saying hello to people. And as you walk up, he's just like, "Hey, how's
Which way did he go? Where did he go?
I feel like this is a joke. He went that way."
I cast locate creature on Malmarthir.
Okay. Malmarthia is not here. He's not being picked up by the spell within 1,000 feet
Right.
of this
So
particular
I'm
area.
running out the door. There's only one exit. I'm running out the door.
Correct. Zuki runs out the door.
I
Following behind.
follow.
Keel actually stops Benjamin. You've got a little blood on you. And he'll touch it and focus in on it and cast scrying.
Okay.
And so Malmarthir needs to make a Wisdom DC 18, but he has a negative 15 to his roll.
Because of the blood.
He got it's a negative 15,
Yeah.
Minus 15 to his roll.
and it's a wisdom save.
DC 18.
There's no way he's passing this. Okay.
Now he does need to be on the same plane as me in order to see him.
Okay. This is what you see. You see Malmarthir in a black room and just sort of pacing back and forth. It looks cubicled off. Like almost like there's a square of light in this room, and he seems to be like pacing back and forth. And as you come in, he sort of looks over at you, and he sweeps his hands. And give me a perception check as you sort of try to scope out the other remnants of this room.
Oh,
With my Sentinel Shield advantage, that's a 4.
Oh no.
He rolled a 2 and a 3.
So you catch the brief forms of other cells in this space. Little bits of light carved in the darkness.
Huh.
You catch what looks to be large green legs, and off in one of the other cells you're catching like what looks to be a little gnomish arm, and you see you sort of swivel your head, you're trying to focus, and you go back and you see this you go back to the green legs and you see this large sort of orc form. And he sort of looks over at you with like a sad look. And he goes, uh-oh. And you're back.
I'll describe the scene word for word.
How did that go?
No.
But he's here.
he's here.
He hasn't jumped away from this plane.
Where here? Oh, he just described it.
Did you, Zuki? Did you find anything out about where Affyria is?
No.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, oh shoot. Wait a minute.
You didn't track her.
I didn't track her. No, because that it wasn't her.
Yeah.
They weren't there for that? I
No,
thought they
no.
were there
But
for that.
when you talked to him, he told you what plane she was on. But none
Yes,
of us were
well,
there.
he said he was in a plane called the Eberron.
Should we find out if that is this plane?
Yes.
I'll go ask the bartender. I may as well look stupid. Pardon me, bartender.
Pardon me now, bartender.
I have a very stupid question for you.
I got a very stupid answer for you. Yellow.
All right, could I ask the question first and see if perhaps you have a matching answer?
That's probably better.
Oh,
7.
what plane are we on?
Eberron.
Thank you very much, sir.
I thought yellow was better.
It might have been. I've never been to Eberron before, so. Have you perchance, it's a long shot, but seen a young purple girl with horns about this tall?
Yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
By the name of Affyria?
Yeah, she's with Bob.
I'm sorry. Zuki!
Yes.
Zephyr, come here. He claims that he knows Affyria and that she's with Bob, whatever that means. Where are they now? This is very important. This is her mother and her father, and they've been looking desperately for her.
I saw them. They said we're gonna go take a walk. They got candy and they're gonna head off they're going into the woods a little bit. They went that way. And he sort of he punches a hole through the wall and points and goes, "Oh man, dang it!" And pulls his hand back and a chunk of the wall comes off.
I'm sure someone can mend that for
So
you.
sorry everybody, this was on me.
What is your name, good sir?
I like good sir.
All right, good sir, that is what I shall call
That's
you.
better than my name.
What is your name?
Good sir.
Well then, thank you for your... When did they leave, good sir?
Not too long ago. Oh, it's the
It's the chili pot, sorry.
yeah, you're good.
Thank you, good sir. And he throws a few gold on the bar.
Thank you, good sir.
No, that's your name. I am Benjamin.
I
For,
love you guys.
for your troubles. They're headed to the woods, the forest, not long ago, by his reckoning.
Can you find her?
There's just one wooded area, right? We could head towards.
There's a
in that
huge
direction.
township, but a little ways past the plaster dragon in this town that you see a little wooded area.
Okay, so we'll head towards the woods. And what I'm going to do is, as we get closer to the woods, I'm going to change my locate creature. I'm going to cast it again,
Okay.
but change it to Affyria rather than
Yeah.
Malmar.
Actually, she shows up. She blips really quickly. She's like 500 feet away.
I run.
Sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody starts taking off into this spot in the forest. As you get there, you see a person standing with Affyria. It's somebody that you don't recognize. He's got pale skin, long silver hair, and sort of looks over at you all. And Affyria turns to look at all of you as well. And he goes, "May I help you?"
I don't even hear him. It's
Affyria,
Yeah.
we're here.
Affyria.
That's fun.
Why doesn't she recognize us?
I go to pick her up.
She backs away and stands behind the man that was standing there.
Zephyr, Zuki, wait a moment. This could be more of his trickery.
I'm sorry, do you know her?
They're her parents.
Her parent? He's definitely got the hue, right? Affyria, do you know them?
And I'm actually on my knees now. Affyria.
He's got the same skin as me.
Because he's your dad.
I don't know.
I pulled Tiny out.
I got one too.
I squeeze him a couple times and let his eyes light up.
Mine doesn't do that. That's
is,
really cool though.
This is yours. And I hold him out to her.
And she'll take it. She looks to Bob. She's like, "Can I have this?" And Bob's like, "Yeah, of course."
I stand up. Who are you?
I'm Bob.
Bob.
Bob changing.
I have to ask you now, why do you have my daughter?
I've been taking care of her. We've been journeying out and about together. I stumbled upon her in a tavern, and we grew quite fond of each other, adventuring and traveling about.
Well, it's very admirable you caring for her all this time. She was kidnapped by evil Sylvan Lord.
By
Have you met Malmar Athir?
Bob backs up, and as he does, he sort of grabs at his chest, and Affyria looks over at him, and she goes, "Bob?" And he looks down at his chest, and as he does, the skin starts to change a little bit.
Oh God.
And as it does, the arms elongate a little bit, and you see Knock manifest itself, this orc that tries to like kind of hold it back a little bit, and as it does, like the green sort of strains against it, as this half orc is now standing where the other changeling was, and he brings up his hand and he sort of reaches out towards Affyria, and then the arm snaps on the orc as if it's being snapped back by some invisible force. And he reaches a hand out and pushes Affyria. As Affyria like gets knocked backward, and she goes, "Knock!" And Knock, other hand, this orc sort of reaches back behind him again and snaps of its own accord, and he's just screaming. And as he does, the orc disappears, and before you sense Malmar Athir just sort of stretching, cracking his neck. He says, "Man, it has been a long time. I thought I had it. I really did. I found the perfect hiding spot. She doesn't even know who you are anymore. And I hid. I found the perfect place to hide. It was inside this poor, simple changeling. And I've been locked up for so long, having no one to talk to for eons. But here you all are. You had to do it. You had to get the girl. You had to save the day. Lovely. You've done it."
I stab him.
Give me an attack roll.
I have advantage. That is 10, and that is a nat 20.
Perfect.
Bonus action flame blade.
Give me a damage roll on this. I need everybody else to roll initiative, please. This will be the one and only sneak attack here. Everyone else roll initiative.
I feel nauseous.
Yeah, I picked up on where he was hiding when you started describing things. I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh my god.
20,
4 plus.
while you add up damage, 20 to 25. Nobody.
I might, maybe, go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you know at the end.
20 to 15. Okay?
19.
15.
30 points of damage. My initiative is 19.
Okay. So it's going to go. You got a 19 as well?
19.
You both got the same initiative as parents.
Aww.
No. Wife always breaks the tie. You don't
No,
have to-
that's true. That's true.
we're gonna do this the right way.
I believe the words are, did you want to go first, dear?
I'm gonna let you go first, baby. I love you so much.
After you.
Please don't make this where we go. Okay. Affyria. 15 to 10? Oh, Bubba. Alright.
10.
Alright.
8.
That's good. Cleric bringing up the rear. He can just heal us when we all drop.
He will die. Okay. Zuki does 30 points of damage to Affyria as he just keeps getting the crap kicked out of him. It is now back to your turn, Zook.
How's that? 10 to hit. Yep, that was a 10.
Okay. You are so enraged, and even though that energy sort of hit against him really strong, it doesn't quite like take hold. He reaches out with a hand after that move, and he's like, "I'm running with a new crowd now. Let me know what you think." Zook, go ahead and give me a wisdom save here. You're next to him, so you're going to get a +3 here. A +4.
Plus you're at advantage.
Plus you're at
And I have
advantage.
and I have a really good wisdom. 14, so it's 17 plus 4
Was
plus 12.
So it's,
Save, yeah.
yeah.
Plus 12. So 17 plus 12 is 29.
Plus another
33.
Yep. This spell sort of reaches around you, and you feel the world start to slow down a little bit. But he picked the wrong day to mess with you, and that anger sort of pushes through a little bit, and there's this guttural roar from Zuki as she sort of pushes it outward, and Affyria is just looking on, confused and sort of frightened at this scene before her. She's still looking around for a figure that was there that is no longer there. Zephyr, your turn.
Do I get to, can I say something?
You
I
can.
haven't said
Speaking is a
anything.
free action.
I look over at Zephyr before I go, and before his turn. Crap! What is your freaking weasel's name?
Zorro.
Zorro. Send Zorro to her.
And I do send Zorro.
Okay. You summon familiar, right? Because we haven't talked about you bringing.
I haven't
Zara.
talked about bringing, so it's, well, he would be in, if I didn't have him physically.
I
with
will.
me,
If you
he
burn
would-
Yeah, I
your
don't know
bonus
how
action,
that works.
burn your bonus action. I'll say Zoro's just been with your pack the whole time and just frazzle as hell. Like,
Because I thought
Well,
he was kind of in an
Well, I'm
ethereal
saying he
plane,
would be
kind
in
of.
my, in a
dimension.
dimension pocket.
yeah.
And so it would take an action for me
Oh,
to bring him
okay.
forth.
Okay.
And, but with my bonus action, I'm gonna go ahead and give inspiration to the wife. You bring me into my life, you're my inspiration. Kick Malmara's butt. With prestidigitation.
Okay. Okay. That's your moves. Brian.
All right. I am
Actually, Can I also position myself between Malmarathir and Affyria?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Right now there are 2 people in melee with Malmarathia. If you do this, you can sort of complete the...
Yeah. I'm definitely closing into
Do it.
melee.
All right.
No question.
Give me some attacks.
Oh yeah, and I'm going to bonus action to light the sword on fire again,
Bonus action, light the sword.
and then 4 stabbings into any open parts of Melmarathir that I
That you can
hit.
see.
And
Got
I'm going to shout over to Affyria. Your friend Bob has been taken over by this evil monster. Find yourself someplace safe. 20 to hit.
No.
Okay. 21.
Yes.
21 again. And a 24.
Yes. All 3 of those hit.
And we don't need distinction between fire and slashing, you said, right?
We don't need distinctions against that.
Alright. Rerolling that 1 and that 2. Oof, that was lousy. So we have 13 plus. So we're up to 34. And the last hit brings us to 52 points of slashing and burning damage.
Give me a D4.
4. And you know what? I'm going to action surge.
Okay. Yes.
What was the D4 or
That's a great question.
wasn't it? All right. I may as well action surge.
All right. Give me 4 more attacks.
Yes.
Give me 4 more attacks. Malmarthia is up next.
Miss. Hit. Definite hit.
Okay.
And a hit. So 3 hits and a miss again.
All right. After Malmarthia, it is heal, and then it is you, Nikki.
So 19 plus 18 is 37 plus, ooh, that's a nice one. 52.
52. Alrighty.
And that will be my turn.
There is a ring on Malmarthia's finger. He will very bloodily reach forward towards that ring with his move and twist the ring. As he twists the ring, a giant red ancient dragon appears not too far away from him and sets up shop. That is his action. With his bonus action, he will teleport, casting Misty Step, teleporting to an unoccupied
Counter
space
spell.
away. All right. There's an immediate reaction from Zephyr as Zephyr sort of reaches out and the magical energy fades, and he looks over at you and he smiles a little bit.
Now, since it was countered, does that mean it doesn't count as a
The
cast
spell has not been cast.
Just
It's
checking.
been countered. But I was waiting for it,
Yep,
but because it never got cast, I have to go with
Yep.
the ruling of the
Absolutely,
word.
just asking. Want to
Great-
make sure.
Great idea though. I like where your head's at. Heal.
Am I still in my angel form?
You told me that you dissipated that magic, and yeah. So I'm gonna say no because I think you purposely said that like that kind of goes away.
Okay. All right. So then, I'm actually going to cast Compelled Duel at the dragon.
Holy.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Are you sure you want to do this?
Keel is sure he wants to do this.
All right.
So what
What
you're
is
saying?
what is the save here?
It's only an 18 wisdom.
Dude.
The dragon, who is sort of eyeing the group, stops and swivels his head to stare at you, digging clawfuls of dirt out of the ground and shoving them behind him.
With my free action, focus on Malmarthir. This one's mine.
As he says, "This one's mine," the dragon gives a snort, shooting small bits of flame out of its
That's
nose.
only a bonus action.
Okay.
I move to a position where I'm as far away from the group as I possibly can,
Okay. With all of your movement speed.
and I hurl my hammer, and when it returns, I hurl it again.
Okay. Give me 2 attack rolls.
First one's a nat 20.
Yeah!
Second one is a 24 to hit.
Okay.
And since I'm throwing it, I hit.
The nat 20 definitely hits, and the 24 hits.
And I need another.
I was getting a little nervous there when you said in the 24. Is like, what?
And I'm going to be doing a divine smite at 5th level.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
On that
this
nat
dragon.
20, yeah, that's a good
On the
call.
nat 20.
That's a good call.
Okay, that's going to be, 6.
Well, while you're adding up that damage, I'm going to go ahead and keep going with
Perfect.
the turn. So you add up that damage. Nikki?
Where's Mothra?
He's sort of right in front of you. He's surrounded at the moment by Zephyr, Ben, and Zuki. Keel has just sort of squared off with this ancient red dragon.
And it's right next to the dragon's right next to Mothra.
The dragon was to the side of Mothra. It's kept its focus on him, and now it's sort of turned off to the side, facing him.
Okay, it's still but it's still right next to Mothra.
It's still right next to Mothra.
Okay. I'm gonna move up and move to hug Mothra.
You're gonna hug Mothra.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna cast anti-magic field.
Okay. Give me a because this is a touch spell.
No, it's actually on myself.
You're
The
casting.
spell is a self spell. I'm just hugging him for effect.
This is a bold move. Okay. You're walking forward. You guys watch as Nick strides forward. As he does, Nick starts emanating an odd energy about him. It surrounds you, and it surrounds you,
It's a 10-foot radius.
and you're gonna have to pick one of these because they're all 3 of them in melee. So you're gonna have to pick, like, I'll say he's on the left, she's going forward, and he's on the right. Like, you're gonna have to figure out a way. Like, 10 foot is gonna cover you and him, but they're all within melee of him. So who else is being enveloped into this?
Everybody that's in the 10-foot.
Everybody that's in the 10 foot. So everybody.
Everybody that's there.
Okay. You feel an odd energy around you as all of your magical items stop working. Everything cuts off. All of the magic that you had at your disposal, Yuki, your connection to the earth, Zephyr, your connection to the divine powers, like associated with your ancestors, any active spells or magical effects, including your foresight, immediately is cut off as Nicholas strides forward.
The dragon also disappears and the ring no longer functions.
The dragon doesn't disappear.
It's in the field. It's a summoned creature. It disappears.
It's not what you think it is.
Well, if it's from the ring too, then the ring would lose its power.
The ring does lose its power. The dragon does not disappear.
100 points of damage total.
He looks angry.
Yep.
The ring. You see the shimmer, the golden shimmer surrounding the ring stop working.
Yeah, a creature or object summoned or created. So if the ring summoned the dragon would disappear.
Absolutely.
Or if it was created by magic, it would disappear as well.
Absolutely. There's only one other spell that could circumnavigate this. And there's one particular ring that can cast that particular spell. Give me an Arcana check as a free action.
Let's see. That would be a 22.
You know, there's a ring out there that's rumored to be, and you think with Malmar Athir's scheming and planning and things of that sort, that maybe it's quite possible if you had a really devious DM and a really devious elf, that this ring of 3 wishes, which casts the 9th level spell Wish, and somebody rolled a d4 to determine how many wishes were in there.
Son of a...
Like that 9th level kind of cancels out the 8th level spell, because it's not summoned, it's manifest. It shaped the universe. It wasn't summoned. The universe changed itself to be that the dragon was always here and part of it. So Malmar Athir looks like he's peeing himself. The dragon has not disappeared. Everyone else's magic is null. It's a good move.
So he definitely still take the damage, though, right?
Who?
It's real.
Yeah, the damage happened before you got there.
Yeah. It's pissed. The dragon's turn. It's only got eyes for you, but
We have no magic. Don't worry about
Well, now if you
Now,
step
if
away
you step
from it, it
out, your
comes
magic
back.
comes back.
It's
it.
only
Is it a 10-foot?
it's a
or-
temporary.
it's a 10-foot.
It's only when you're standing next to me for 10 foot around.
But we really
You're
have no
gone.
idea.
You
Yeah.
made the movement to go around. These 3 are in the field.
Gotcha.
And
Malmar
probably,
Athir.
do we have any chance of knowing what just happened to us?
I would say you sense the movement as he walks forward, because it all crosses the threshold. Like
We've
as
all
he
fought
walks
a beholder
forward.
before, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, you're.
And I could just simply say, get away from me.
Yeah. Cool. So this thing takes 100 points of damage, and it's Bubba. I'm sorry, it's only got eyes for you.
That's fine.
I only have eyes
In the
for
weirdest roll of that. Give me a dexterity saving throw, big guy.
14.
No.
Oh no.
I'm not even gonna roll that. Heel, as this thing sort of eyes you, this large cone of fire erupts forth from the dragon, and it envelops you fully. And you take 63 points of fire damage as this thing sort of rips into you. That is its turn. Zuki, it is now your turn.
Okay, so with my movement, okay, I'm gonna ask if I can get away with this. Here's what I want to do. Because my
Sure.
sword is still non-magical, like it won't do anything.
It's in your bracelet at this point.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
You have no sword in your hand.
I want to move forward. I want to move more than 10 feet forward. I want to move him with me.
This is
Is
gonna
that-
be. This is gonna have to be like a. You're gonna have to grapple him first, and on
So
your
that's
next
an
move,
action.
like drag him.
Who?
Like you can't
Who's
just.
she trying to move?
Okay.
She's trying to move
Move
Malmar
Malmar
Athir.
I'm hugging him.
Oh, you got him grappled.
You.
Not grapple. I'm just hugging him.
No. That we can't do that. We have to.
Okay,
do
then I'll
like
grapple.
gra-
I mean, he
The
could fight against
action,
the
the action
get
was
rid-
the anti-magic field.
Yeah.
So I will say that you've gotten close to him. You got the arms outstretched,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't do like that. I'm gonna hug him and grapple, and then cast the
Yeah.
anti-magic.
And I
It's
said it
such
was
a
just for
powerful-
effect. It's not an attack.
Yeah. So he's got him in a little like light hug right
Yeah.
now.
Okay, so it's a grapple, so that's my action. I can't do another
Give me an
action
attack
for
to
moving him.
give me an attack to hit. All of his magical armor that I spent time devising is
Why would
now.
Why would you push him out of the field?
So she can wild shape
I
on his
want
butt.
to attack, but I can't.
You can still hit him with.
Okay, I stab him with my sword.
You don't have
You
your
don't have
sword.
that sword.
I don't have the sword. I don't have the sword. God.
Give me an attack roll as Mama punches him in the face.
That's a 12.
He loses all his armor, so that might hit.
I don't even get damage for punching a person in the face. There's no damage to roll.
You get one. You always get at least
You
one.
always get one. You actually do 1 point of damage. You punch him in the face with a 12, and he's knocked backwards a little bit.
Do you have a
And
ranged
I'm-
attack at all?
And I'm gonna move away from the 10-foot radius.
Okay. As you move away from the 10-foot radius, he is not going to do anything. He's going to let you go, and you feel your magic return to you fully.
Would I know if I cast a spell and it crosses that threshold if the spell will dissipate?
It'll
the second it
dissipate.
goes?
It'll dissipate the second it goes in.
Even an area effects will dissipate.
Okay, then what I'm gonna do. How far away is no, I can't do that. Okay, I'm just gonna wait.
Okay.
You don't have any other physical weapons?
I
Take.
have a short bow. I can do that.
Yeah.
Attack the dragon.
No, because the second I do, like I can't do that yet. Because the second I do it cancels out everything that he just
It does
did.
not.
It doesn't? I will do
It
that.
only gets bad stuff if everyone else, if it attacks anything other than him.
I forgot
If
to make a
creature-
concentration check.
Did
I just failed it.
you just failed it? That spell is null and void, and as the concentration fades after doing that spell, thank you for doing that. Take DM inspiration for that because you're DMing, so you get 1 free reroll. The dragon will look at all of you, and everybody needs to give me a DC dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, does my spell come back into effect?
Yes. As soon as you come out of the anti-magic, it does.
Your
The,
magic is back.
The
Right,
foresight is
foresight.
back. Yes.
The foresight came back?
Foresight is back.
Okay. What were we rolling for?
Dex saving throw.
17.
Okay.
6.
6.
8.
8.
13.
13.
9.
The dragon's wings, and as they do, they blow a mighty force of air pressure sort of change, and everybody falls to the ground, knocked prone. You take 13 points of bludgeoning damage as everyone falls prone to the ground.
Do we just go prone, or we moved it all, or?
Nope, you are knocked prone.
I succeeded on my concentration.
Yeah, no,
Good.
that's a homebrew error that D&D Beyond does every once in a while.
I've got this error showing up again, trying to do
Oh, that's
damage.
okay. That's all right. No worries. Zeph, you are up next. See if you can make it through. What we'll do is we'll cycle to Brian, and then we'll come back
Okay.
to you. Okay?
All right. So I am
Read the
going.
page.
So since none of my magic is currently working, my magic items, what I am going to do is I am going to grapple him.
Okay. Give me a.
So first it's an attack roll to make sure I hit him.
I'd attack to see if you hit him.
Yep. Which 18.
18 hits
And now an athletics check to see if I grapple him,
to see if you grapple him.
which should be pretty easy. That's a 32.
Yep, he's grappled.
All right. So
You guys watch as Ben sort of grabs onto him and just sort of grabs a hold of him and squeezes tight.
and can I use my bonus action to try and pull his ring off?
You can try.
All
yeah.
right. Well, if I can't, I can't. I'm just.
How about this? He's wearing a few, and the glimmer has faded. So I will let you do this. Give me, and it's fairly easy at this point. Give me a D8. I'm writing the number that you need to roll in order
Can I try and do investigation, see if I can remember which one I saw him twist?
Sure, but you don't pull the ring off.
All right, I'll just randomly pull a ring off and 7. I pull ring 7 off and toss it out toward Zuki.
Cool. One of the rings is taken off of his finger and it flies out towards you.
Okay.
Cool.
It's number 2.
Doesn't matter. I'm just.
Malmarthia tries to break the grapple, and he is getting more and more frantic and a little desperate because all of his items were sort of duplicitous in nature. That is a 20.
34.
He is unable to do that, and that is his...
I may have taken expertise in athletics.
You may have.
That's a plus 17.
Nice. Wow.
I'm giving him a big ol' hug.
Don't be there, bro. You're okay. There is a look as the dragon sort of comes forward and swings a tail over at you, Bubba. 25 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Barely.
Just barely. Only because I'm feeling generous.
11 points of damage.
I maintain.
Keel, your turn.
Oh, with my sentinel shield, I'm going to do a reaction hit.
Gotta get.
Going
my
after
turn.
this.
Are you ready?
I think so.
All right, do it.
First of all, I'm going to use half my movement to stand up,
Okay.
and then I'm going to use movement to get as far away from, well, not as far away, but...
You can go half your movement to get further away. You're probably standing next to Zuki at this point.
I probably would have not stood directly next to Zuki at this point.
Okay.
I'm looking for a more clear area,
Okay.
and
Dragon tactics.
I'm going to totally, fully manifest.
Again.
Yeah.
All right. How many times can you do this?
Right now, 4.
Okay. You turn into a young adult
I do.
dragon. Okay.
I'm
Or a young,
well aware.
a young
I'm
gold dragon.
well aware. What?
This thing's eyes dart over towards you.
Good.
Cool. And that is your action.
And that is my action.
What are you doing with the bonus action? Have you ever seen him do this? No, she has not.
I don't know that she ever has.
Nobody has.
Zephyr, in a weird moment, sort of goes over to a clearing and sort of looks over at you, and he gives you one of those, like, blows you a kiss before, but as he's blowing the kiss, his arms elongate into giant dragon wings, and before you, Zephyr has wild shaped.
The ultimate in wild shape.
Into a gold dragon.
He looks at you as if to say, "From you, okay? I learned it from watching you."
I hold action on a really good punch to the shoulder when we're all done with this.
Perfect. You couldn't have told me before? It's one of those things you tell your wife. Like, honey, I can turn into a dragon. Okay, cool.
And as I'm blowing the kiss as well, as my bonus action, I'm gonna. Do you still have? No, you wouldn't have bardic inspiration by this point.
She still has it.
Does she still have it?
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna cast it on Kill.
As a dragon?
I can speak, and as long as I don't know what would stop me.
The DM.
That's why I'm asking him. What would stop me?
It's difficult because you're spending so much of your energy channeling into the ancestral. I'm granting you the form of a dragon. I don't know if I can conceivably let you cast all somatic spells to have a bar dragon. It's a really cool move. I'm saying that the magic taking place.
I'm okay with that.
But I will say, who would you grant this inspiration to?
It would have gone to Kill.
Heal. The sight of a young dragon is inspiring enough. You get 1. Just the sight of Zephyr looking over at him, looking like the rock god that he is, manifested in full dragon form, is enough to grant you inspiration. Good thing too, because Keel, it is your turn.
Alright, I am going to... Ooh. How far away am I from the dragon's head?
It is up in the air at this point. It used its wings to sort of fly up into the air. It is now 15 feet into the air.
It's a D12 of inspiration.
10 feet. 10 feet into the air.
Okay. Would I be able to get... How high up would 30 feet get me?
30 feet.
About 30 feet.
Where on the dragon, I mean.
I don't know, man.
3 o'clock parade.
2.
I'd say it gets you to to the belly. This thing's kind of up, and the head is risen up, but like 30 would get you up to about like the chest midsection.
Okay. Is there any way I can get to the hinge of the wing?
Yes.
I'm going to cast Misty Step
Okay.
and teleport up to the wing as my bonus action.
Okay.
and I'm going to bring down a mighty hammer
Okay.
right into the hinge.
Okay. I'm going to tell you now. This is high risk, high reward here.
Mhm.
Okay?
By the way, it's Maxwell's hammer.
Maxwell Silver Hammer comes down. give me an attack roll at disadvantage as you are in the air on top of a moving dragon, bringing the hammer down.
Now, DM inspiration. Can I re-roll the disadvantage roll, or do I have to roll?
No, but you can roll this as a straight roll.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
And you have a D12 of
You
inspiration.
do have a D12.
Clutch.
Oh, is it a D12 now?
Yeah.
D12.
I'm gonna roll the inspiration.
Roll inspiration.
Big money.
I'm not telling you what he-
Silver hammer.
27.
Okay. Okay.
How do you want to do this?
No. Here's what happens. roll damage on this attack.
This is also gonna be using a 3rd level divine smite.
Don't push your luck, but roll damage on this attack.
Hold off on the divine smite.
No. Give me the divine smite. Roll damage on this attack as you hit the wing joint of this dragon. As you jumped up, Misty stepped into the air, brought the hammer down on the dragon.
Let's see.
It is definitely this moment where Gil's like, guys, I got this.
18, 27 plus 30, 34 points of damage.
Give me an intelligence roll. Roll a d20.
Nat 20.
Ooh.
You hit this thing so hard, and it does a lot of damage to this thing, and this thing screams as something snaps. And you're like, yeah! And then exactly what you thought would happen, happens. One of the wings stops working, and this dragon goes sideways and falls to the ground on top of you, bringing all of its weight down on top of you. And it's not good. You are currently pinned on by the full weight of this dragon, and I don't even know how to roll damage on this, bro. Okay.
Look up what Greyhound Bus does. And
Multiply that by 10.
It's
Just keep rolling D6s until you get bored.
Here's what you do. You roll 4d6.
Well, I'm praying.
And then you roll 4d6. And then you roll 46.
He's rolling D20.
You take 72 points of damage as the full weight of this dragon falls on top of you, pinning you to the ground, and you're going to have to start making constitution saves as it's going to get hard to breathe while the full weight of this thing is on top of you. But the dragon has stopped flying. Congrats.
You did it.
You did it. It's now going to turn at all of you as it's on the ground. It's going to use half its movement to get up, but not off of you. It's going to shift its weight, so you're still underneath the full brunt of it. You're clumped. You're clumped because you're holding him.
Yeah, we're in the anti-magic shell.
You two are off to the side. Dex saves.
Do we know it's coming at us that we're saving for?
The dragon rears it opens its mouth, and it gets ready to spit flame at you.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
Yeah, up to 3 times.
That's not great, so I'm going to use one of my indomitable wills and try and re-roll what is sure to be a failed save.
Okay.
Because it's not one I would like to fail. That's much better. That's a 20.
A 20.
Yeah.
Okay. The 20 fails.
Damn.
What do you got, Boba?
That's.
We were looking for a 21.
Nah, so basically I can only make this save on a nat 20 is what you're telling me.
That's the cone right there, the DC 21 for the next
If, if they're within 30 feet of me, they get +4 to their saves.
So.
Unless I'm pinned.
You are pinned. Do they still get the save if you're
As long as I'm
incapacitated?
conscious.
He's still conscious. You get +4 4.
Then it's-
so you take
then-
half of.
Okay. I will not complain.
You take half of 49 points of damage.
So I take 24.
24. You take 49 points of damage, Bubba.
And I still make it.
Thanks, Bronekeel.
Actually, when you make this dex save, are you doing it with Malmar Affyria?
You're grappled.
Oh, so I would be at disadvantage, wouldn't I?
You would.
Then I won't. Then you know what? I'm not going to even. Can I dodge into it instead?
He
You're gonna
rolls
jump
over.
into it.
I'm going to try and. No, I'm not going to try. I'm going to let myself be hit by the flame.
No.
So I'm
Roll
going
Malmarthier
Well, I
over
mean,
in front of
basically,
you.
I'm going to shield myself with Malmar Thier, but I'm going to make
Okay.
sure that we get hit by the flame, and I'll take the full 49,
Take the full 49 points of damage.
so that he does as well.
All right.
Because I feel like I
49,
can,
40.
and I won't try and re-roll the save because I feel like he can't take it as well as I can.
You are right. All right. That brings us to Zuki. Malmarthia is charbroiled at this point and not looking good.
Summon woodland creatures.
Okay.
Or conjure woodland beings, whatever it is.
Okay.
Alright, and you need their initiative?
Yeah.
Their initiative is 7 plus 5, yeah, 12.
I think they're going right after you, Bubba. Because, yeah.
I'm at a 14, I believe.
Yeah.
That is an action, and then bonus action. I know it's not going to help much.
Did you make concentration checks after the
Yeah, I
fight?
did. I just told you I made that one.
You made it?
Yeah.
What did you roll?
18 for my concentration.
That doesn't make it.
Gotta beat a 10 is a thought.
No.
Huh?
No,
Not
if he
not
took
bad.
49 points of damage, then the
Oh.
concentration check is 24.
Oh, 24. Then no, I didn't make it.
All right. Anti-magic field drops.
My bonus action.
Oh, no, wait. I made it because 18 was on the dice. So yeah.
Oh,
I'll
and
make
you have
it-
like what, plus 14 or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would have made it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's get those.
Yeah, it was
like,
just an 18 on a dice.
Just let me know next time.
yeah.
Okay.
That's why I thought I made it. So.
Anti-magic field is still up and running.
Yeah.
My bonus action is I was going to cast Healing Word. I know it's not going to help him a bunch, but
Can you cast Healing Word? You
can I?
can't.
Zephyr?
I can't. No, I can't see
Not
them.
with woodland creatures. It has to be a cantrip.
It has to
Oh,
be a
I
cantrip.
forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I forgot. Thank
It's
you.
alright.
Never mind.
You guys are doing great. I know this is a beast. 2 of them. But you're doing really well.
Okay, I don't have another bonus action I can use.
All right, Zeph.
I'm going after the dragon in all my little form.
What are you doing?
I'm actually 3 attacks. I'm gonna try to get its attention, and then I'll be slowly backing up.
And this is you in like full dragon form.
Full
Okay,
dragon
give
form.
me 3 attacks against this gold, against this red dragon.
It's too bad your breath weapon is fire too, huh?
Yeah. Is it going to be a strength bonus? Or?
You
Oh wait, no,
should
it's plus
have a
10.
plus.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that's 26 with the bite,
26 hits.
and that's not the best damage, but
Okay.
I'm more decoy right now.
Brian, you are up next.
Okay.
7 plus 6, that's going to be 13 for that one,
Okay.
and then with one claw,
Miss.
miss, and miss with both claws.
Okay. How much damage did you do?
Was it 13?
13.
One's a piercing.
Cool. Okay. After that move, it's a good move. After that move, the dragon is going to get very, very angry at you, and it is going to it's going to smack its tail against you as you just took some swings at it. 24 to hit.
Hits.
Okay, that's gonna be 17 points of damage, bludgeoning damage, as you're sort of knocked to the side. That is his turn. Marthia can't do anything. Brian.
Can we say that I had like not some non-magical gear as well, like a short sword or something.
Well, no,
'cause-
your sword still becomes.
well, right, but
magic.
I would think that I would have had like some one-handed equipment as well for like when I was grappling someone. I only gave myself my two-handed magical weapons, or
I mean, it still works.
Dagger in
It's
the
just
boot.
works.
well, right, but you don't.
I'll give you a
grap-
dagger. I'll give you a
Okay.
dagger. I'll give you a
I was
shoot.
gonna, you don't grapple someone and then attack with
Oh,
a
okay.
two-handed weapon. So it's like I got my armor on him. I'm gonna just.
Oh, it's a two-handed way. I think.
Start
I'm gonna just.
strangling them.
You
I'm gonna-
loaded for bear, but you loaded for like two-handed bear. Like you loaded
So
for big
I'm
bear.
gonna just like grab him around the. I'm grappling him and I'm just gonna stab him in the side 4 times with a dagger.
Okay, I will allow that.
So continue to grapple him.
Is it an action to continue to grapple?
No, he has to break the grapple. I can just maintain the grapple.
Okay.
And I need to check my feats because I can't remember if I took the one where I get advantage on grappled opponents or not. I don't think I
I
did.
think that's Tavern Brawler or Grappler. I don't think you.
Yeah, I
have
don't think I
either
took
of
that one,
those.
so it's just
Yeah.
it's just regular. 25.
Yep.
20.
Yep.
16.
No.
28.
Yep.
And dagger is 1d4 plus strength. So 6.
Are you doing that with or without?
12.
Without.
19 and 24. 24 points of damage.
Okay.
As I just go.
Yeah, he screams out in pain.
Prison style.
I'm just prison shanking him.
Ooh. He attempts to break his grapple.
Okay. 35.
He rolled a 20, but I don't know if that automatically breaks it, or if we should just treat this as a skill check.
Nat 20.
I'm gonna treat it as a straight up skill check and say even though he rolled a 20, added that to it, he's still grappled at this.
Okay.
All right. There we go. That is non-RTA. He is broken at that point. Keel.
I'm going to Misty Step out from this dragon's butt.
What did you have for your?
You can't.
Then I will Dimension Door.
What are the components for Dimension Door and Misty Step?
Misty Step is verbal.
I'm like.
I will.
I was like a 15.
Yeah, you know what? This is storytelling. Roll a d20. 10 and below, you can't get the words out. 11 and up, you get the words out.
A 7.
You're trying to make words and you just can't get them out of your mouth.
And so I'm totally restrained.
You're totally restrained underneath this thing. What is your con?
+4.
So you can hold your breath for a long time.
I've got a +8 on saving throws.
Right,
But this is about
plus
like
4 is
just-
4 minutes holding your breath.
Yeah. Okay.
But you just exhaled your breath trying to say those words to cast this spell.
I would have.
Yep. So as you do this, you are drowning.
Okay.
All right.
I wish I had magic. I would like try to.
Woodland
levitate or
creatures.
telekinesis
Pixie
the
number 1 casts polymorph on the dragon.
It can totally do that.
Yes.
What is the save?
The save is DC 12.
DC 12 what?
Charisma.
Okay. Makes
Pixie
it.
number 2 casts polymorph on the dragon.
It makes it.
Pixie number 3.
Makes it.
Pixie number 4.
Makes it.
Pixie number 5.
Makes it.
Pixie number 6.
It fails.
Yes!
So it's going to choose to succeed.
Pixie number 6.
Stupid legendary resistance.
It succeeds.
Pixie number 7.
It succeeds.
Pixie number 8.
It succeeds really well.
Crap. Well, that's 1. Alright, that's my 8 pixies.
It will use its last 2 legendary actions to to wing attack all of those pixies since they are crowded around it. Give me a dexterity saving throw. We are looking for 8 dexterity saving throws. A nat 20 will do it. Nothing else.
No. 2, no. 3, no. 4, no. 5, nope. 6, nope. 7, nope. 8, nope. Pixies are gone.
Pixies, yeah, are gone.
So it's 2. That was 2 more legendary.
It just burned through. It gets 3 per turn. It just burned through
Per
2.
turn?
Yeah.
Per
turn.
turn.
Yeah.
Per turn.
Per turn.
Per day.
Oh.
it's
No,
per turn.
legendary actions are per turn.
It's turn.
Ancient dragons are nasty.
Per day.
Nikki.
I am going to. So it used mace Mothra.
Mace on Mothra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. While he's holding him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not restrained. He's just grappled, so it's no advantage or anything like that.
Let's see. Will a 16 hit?
A 16 will not hit.
Okay.
Is that your turn?
That's it.
You are killing these smalls. The dragon is up and off of you. You are breathing. It is a moment there. It flies over and it is
It's
going.
not flying much, I don't think.
It is not flying over. You're right. It'll crawl over. Thank you. So that's going to limit whether it can attack you because you're up in the air. So it can't hit you. It's got to go after her, him, and him. I don't think. Or heal.
I actually never.
One, two,
I actually
three.
never launched.
4. So you're on the ground as
I'm
well.
on the ground. Because that's where
1,
it
2,
was.
3, 4, 5. All right. It's going to take an attack against Zeph. 22 to hit.
Hit.
You are going to take. 9 points of piercing damage and 4 points of fire damage, which you might be resistant
I
to.
am immune to fire.
It's going to take an attack against you, Brian.
Okay.
But you're holding Malmar Affyria.
Did I get partial cover?
Partial cover.
It is
There
a
you go.
nat 20 on that one. So we're going to go ahead and roll double die.
Meat shield, maybe?
There you go. Both of you.
It increases your AC by.
32 points of damage against you as the claws sort of
Okay.
go into you.
Wait. It's a claw attack?
It is a claw attack.
Wouldn't he be a shield to you?
I don't know.
Yep. He can be a shield to you as you push him forward and lose your grapple.
Now I'll take the damage.
Figured you would. Last one is going to be against. You're not close. You're 4. Yeah, this is going to be against you, and it's going to be at advantage because you're prone. That's another nat 20.
Ouch.
It's not a lot of damage hits. You're going to be just on it.
172.
That's not that. Oh, no, double damage. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
4, 9, 20.
Not evil.
40 points of damage as this tail goes smack and just smacks down on the ground.
I've been forgetting that I crit on 18 to 20.
You gotta remember that, Burbo.
I do. That's my
You're
bad.
up.
I conjure 8 more pixies.
Okay.
Time to spread out.
Ring of Pixies. That's my new band name. Ring of Pixies.
Roll,
There's 8 corners in this room.
roll initiative for these pixies.
That was a 13.
Oh my god, they're going right in that same. They're going right after
Yeah.
the deal. Yeah. Okay. I don't have to bet anything. Okay. Bonus action.
I am going to use a bonus action. I know it's not going to help a lot, but I can't heal you. Oh, that's right. Again, I did the same thing. Frick. No, I have no bonus action. Ugh.
Zeph.
I'm. What are the chances of breathing on it without hitting anybody else?
Yeah.
I'm in an indentation in the ground right now.
He's in an indentation in the ground, so he's
Can
sort
I
of
do
covered
it
by
high
the ring.
enough that
Yeah, I'd allow it. What does he need to make?
I'm going to breathe my weakening breath weapon,
Okay.
Ooh.
and he needs a DC 17 strength.
DC 17 strength save.
Yeah. I know.
He fails.
Okay.
So he's gonna succeed.
Second legendary resistance. That's okay. We're burning the legendary resistance. One more. It's alright. We just gotta keep making them go.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't know what else I've got, so.
No, that's good. Brian.
Bonus action to do second wind. Get back 24 hit points.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Should I get rid of more of his rings in case he breaks out, or just keep prison shanking him?
I don't think we're supposed to be responding.
I was just yawning.
Alright. Hit. Crit. And a miss.
Alright.
Alright.
Roll some damage.
So
for
we've
me.
got 3, 7, 8, 10, 25 points of shank damage.
He is not happy.
Well, that's what he does. But
Alright. Mal Marathia's turn.
So it's only got one legendary resistance.
Yeah.
How long does this magic field last?
1 minute, I believe.
And we're on
10
round 3.
rounds.
No, it's at least 4 so far, because
Because I missed
I
her.
manifest, I attack twice.
I've prison
Four
sh-
rounds.
Well, no, because I've only done 2 actions.
I've prison shanked twice and I've pitched rings, or I've pitched a ring, so it's at least 3.
Oh, then I must have gotten skipped once because I've only gotten 2 actions: the spell and then the.
No. This is we're coming up on your third.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so
so,
it's 3 rounds. This is the third round.
yeah,
then.
so I'm at the bottom of the turn, so this will be the bottom of the third when it gets to me.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It lasts up to an hour.
Oh,
Oh, well.
in that case,
Question
no.
answered.
Does he have access to his bag? Does he have access to all of his belongings? Stuff like he can still reach around
Malmar there.
and stuff like when he's grappled, he just can't move.
Right, he just can't move. So
All
he
right,
can.
Malmarthia reaches into the bag at his side and, getting desperate, clicks a small rod. And as he does, that is his turn. And
I mean, if it's magical.
and begins to laugh. And looks directly at Zuki as he's hit his breaking point. Keel.
Okay. Dragon's off of
I
me.
guess I'll go find out what's in the bag.
What's in the bag?
What's in the box?
It's just a small. It's a gold rod with a silver tip on the end of the rod, and it's collected at the gold. So he pulls it out. And he looks right at Zuki. He looks around. He looks desperate, and he clicks the rod. Here.
DM question.
Yes.
How long does it take for me for my snack break?
Takes an action.
Is it full action?
I'll give you a bonus action. You can scarf that snack down.
I would like to scarf my snack.
All right, eat your snack, baby.
Yummy.
Snacky snack
I
time.
love velvet cake.
Keel's just like 2 seconds. No, that's the Muppet one shot. Hey.
After taking a snack break, I'm going to lay on hands myself,
Okay.
and heal for 100 points.
Perfect.
Nice.
That's some healing.
That is your turn, correct?
And it's on my turn.
Woodland creatures, before your turn, there is going to be a move where the dragon tail is going to come forward and attack Malmarathia. Okay. You watch as the tail lashes forward. And he falls unconscious as the tail lashes forward, knocking into him and knocking him unconscious. He is passed out. Okay.
Woodland creatures?
Woodland creatures.
Oh, you did.
Oh, that look. Alright, here. Let's get rid of the auto saves. Polymorph, first one, polymorph on the dragon.
Okay.
Second one?
The DC is 12, correct?
Yes, correct.
So it's got to roll a nat 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
I'll roll all of them. You're casting all 8 of them are doing polymorph again?
Yeah, but if you get one beforehand,
Yeah.
like, that's fine.
It fails its save.
That's
So
on the
it's-
6th, right?
It's going to succeed.
Okay. So next one. Okay. That's it. That's good.
Alright. Nick.
Oh, Zuki didn't get.
Oh! No, you're at the top. You
I'm
conjured
at the top.
woodland beings.
Oh! That's right. Never mind. Sorry. That was, yeah. Last
Nick.
time I was the problem.
Ben is holding an unconscious man.
Okay, so whatever the rod was that he was holding. Wait, was he holding it? Did he drop it? What happened to it?
Yeah, it's fallen to the ground.
Okay. I'm going to try to mace the unconscious man.
Okay. Nick picks up his mace and starts beating Malmarathia, causing him to lose 2 death saving throws.
No.
Alright.
What? Is this not what?
We had a decoy Affyria before.
Dragon's turn.
I'm actually, let's.
Is it you dragon or that dragon?
Oh, you're dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You went after Zuki.
Yeah, you're at the top.
You
right?
did the
we're
weakening
still
breath.
in the. Okay.
Yeah, you did the weakening breath. It's going to turn and look back over at Keel, who just had his snack break,
It was delicious.
and you, who are close to him, and her, who is probably close to you. So
No,
you
he
got,
said he moved away from her.
he moved away.
I was not near Zuki.
All right, so just you. Give me a dex saving throw then.
Okay. 18 plus 5, that would be a
Sorry,
20.
6.
Yeah, what are you reading?
Sorry. It's right there.
Thank you. 24.
24.
Yeah.
Cool. You only take 27 points of damage.
Of
Fire damage.
I'm immune.
You're immune to fire damage.
Yeah.
Yep. So this thing sort of it's anger and it's pissed and then just sort of like
If
goes at you. Zuki, your turn.
How far away am I from the dragon?
Far enough that it couldn't hit you with a flame. So you're 30 feet.
Okay. I run up
Okay.
to touch it and cast plane shift on it
Okay.
to send it to. I don't care the 9 hells.
Okay.
It has to make a charisma save of 19.
I think Jonathan's been there.
What is its plus charisma? It's got a plus 9.
And it's burned all its legendaries, so.
The dragon disappears. You are out of initiative.
Alright, I'm gonna stabilize Marathir.
Okay.
because if anyone's gonna kill him, it should be her or me.
So where's everybody's placement?
I'm still inside the anti-magic bubble with the rod, and I want us to look at the rod before we take it out of the bubble.
Cool. Who's looking at the rod?
I have +7 Arcana.
And you're picking it up?
Not yet. I want to.
You're gonna just look at it on the ground.
First, I want to stabilize this asshole.
Okay.
Does anybody else have medicine?
I'll
that's
see.
worth-
I will take a look at the rod to see if I can determine what it is.
Okay. He's asking if anybody here has medicine that can stabilize him.
I do not.
Make a
Can
med-
do.
Yes, I
Make a
can do a
medicine.
medicine.
Because I don't want us
I
to
can
heal
assist
him.
in-
Because I don't want him waking up.
All right, stabilize him. Give me a medicine check at advantage. He's gonna help you.
No, I think he should make the medicine check at advantage because he's better.
Yeah,
at
so
it.
it's 30.
Okay. Yeah, he's stabilized.
And then I'm just gonna tie him like as tight as I can.
Give me an Arcana check at disadvantage as you're not moving it, you're not touching it, you're just looking at it on the ground.
So
If I help him, can that just be a normal roll then? Since I also have proficiency.
17.
Yeah.
17. Well, that's a disadvantage. If I take it, it's a 20.
You see arcane sort of sigils around this thing, and you know that this is a rod that is used to store magic, but it's hard to discern what.
I cast detect magic on it.
Well,
Because
it's
then
still an
it won't work.
anti-magic
It's
check.
still,
It-
it's
it-
still
it-
inside it.
there's
Flies over and bounces off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't work.
We'll have to take it out of the anti-magic shell, which means whatever he pushed will go off.
Okay.
I'm worried it's going to send Affyria somewhere or permanently
Right.
destroy her memories. Where is Affyria?
She's
And-
just sort of standing there
As
holding
soon as the dragon had
weasel.
disappeared, I would.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
There's a dragon. You're a dragon.
And does she seem afraid of me?
She just seems indifferent, like she just saw a few heroes come over.
Oh.
I'm
Does
actually
anyone have
gonna
identify? No, that won't
Snake
help
my
either.
head down close to her.
Can we wrap it in something to pick it up and look at it? Maybe that will protect us from it.
Well,
I
he's conscious now. We
cast-
just ask him.
I cast Greater Restoration on her. Do you want it red?
No.
He knows it.
There's a look as the magic sort of seeps out from you, and it coalesces into this druidic green energy that rises up from the ground, and you feel the earth responding to you. And it encircles her as if you were hugging her. As simple as that. And as the energy enfolds her, she blinks a few times and doesn't say anything. She flies over and wraps you up in a hug.
Can you describe the room again?
You're outside. Malmarathia is unconscious. The two of Zuki has her daughter, who fully recognizes her as her mother. There's a golden rod on the ground with like a metal tip on it. You realize it's for storing magical energy. Malmarathia is unconscious in Benjamin's hands.
Are we like on a cliffside or flat
Just in
plain?
a grassy, like forest area.
Okay. No hills or crags or anything like that.
Kiel, could I speak to you over here? I don't want to interrupt the reunion, but
You feel as you have grasped onto her, the familiar sort of energy as a blue portal begins to open up not too far away.
we have to go.
Drag him with us.
Don't forget, he captured and trapped her friend Bob, who's taken care of her for a year. We can't kill him until we separate her friend.
Then drag him with us.
I will.
What's the order of going into the portal?
I'll go first with him, just in
Wait,
case
wait.
there's something
We still
wrong.
have this rod on.
I need to know the order of who's
Yeah.
going into this portal.
Hold on. So if I get near this portal, it will close. If I walk away from Malmarathir, he will have his powers back.
I'm
Rod
gagging.
can activate. So I'll stay behind.
Keep the rod in the circle until we're through.
The portal begins to
Leave me with Malmara.
dissipate.
If you take her, I can stay with him and I can planar shift him out back home.
Leave
We
me
can go
with
fast.
Malmorathir.
I pick
You
up
guys should go. He's
You
unconscious.
got this.
Okay.
Take your daughter.
And I
And
give her a
everybody
quick
leave.
kiss, and I head out the portal. So I go first.
You two go first.
Zuki, go.
I'm the only one who has a chance to get him back home.
I can get myself home.
How are you gonna get yourself home?
I can get myself home.
Give me an insight check, Sue.
15.
He seems confident he has the means to do it.
Okay, then I go.
Zuki goes through the portal. It dissipates a little more.
You sure you got this?
I've
got
started
this.
a timer on my phone.
Old man, what do you say?
Leave. Go.
Trust him.
Then we go. I follow.
Go.
Go.
Go. 10, 9, 8, 7,
I did.
Okay.
6,
Everybody went except for
Okay.
him.
5, 4, 3, 2. It's an odd reunion when you get back.
Where is back?
Back is on the green field, littered around blood splattered, but still very much alive as Reggie stands there, and he himself having 2 swords in either hand, something that you've never seen from him. One the rapier, and one a gleaming blade of light that seems to emanate from a hilt on his left side. As Benjamin steps through, carrying Malmarathia.
No, he told me to leave Malmar
No,
behind.
Left
no.
behind. As Benjamin walks forward, he drops what he has in his hands and just tries to grab all of you. Simultaneously, it fails completely. Like, because are you a dragon still at this
No,
point?
I'm not a dragon. at this point. I was
So
a
he
dragon.
manages to just try to wrap everyone in a hug. He holds you all still in a moment where you're all home, and Affyria is holding on to you tight, like she just woke up from a bad dream, and you're trying to rock her back to sleep. And it's a scene where, amidst the chaos and amidst the soldiers on this field, an innocent life was brought home. An innocent life was brought home. Nick, you wait a while, and that hour starts ticking by.
What's around me? Like as soon as they leave, like
Just
just
woods.
tell me what.
Just woods. Just
Mm-hmm.
occasionally you'll hear a bird song
Okay.
as it is nighttime. You see the stars up above you.
All right. So as soon as they walk off, as soon as they get through the portal, I'm gonna pick up his body, throw it over my shoulder, and start walking in a direction.
Okay. Are you taking the rod with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You start walking in a direction in the woods.
We'll say north.
Okay.
But come across anything after 30 minutes.
Come across a large, like a lake,
Okay.
pretty big lake.
And is it like I just walk up the side of the lake? Is there anything around it or anything like that? And what's that? 30 minutes in.
I feel like if you were to sit down and rest at a certain point,
Mm-hmm.
like stop moving, the figure of a woman would come to you,
Okay.
and she would place a hand on your shoulder, and she says, I am very proud of you. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You didn't do one thing to hurt someone. Except the mace thing. We're gonna make that up. But I'm so proud of you. Peace is one of the hardest things to attain, especially with somebody as powerful as you. I'm so proud of you.
happens now?
What happens now? I think we just sit together.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
The moon rises above a foreign place as Nicholas spends his last moments staring out along the water. And for the first time in his tortured experience, making wrong decisions and feeling manipulated, the last thing that is granted to Nicholas is the thing he sought more than anything in the world. And it's a sense of peace. And it's almost funny to you.
Finally.
You wrap up the unconscious form of Malmar Affyria and give him a huge hug. And you can't help but laugh at this. You finally got there
Made it.
with this asshole. And the woman next to you begins to laugh as well. And that's how you go. Hugging someone. The sun rises the next day for you guys. They can't track Nick. Nobody knows what happened to him. He's in a different place. He's in a different spot. Affyria tells stories about how she traveled with a group of heroes. You all laugh, and nobody lets her sleep in her own room for the first month that she's there. On the grounds of the campus, there is a statue of a man that looks like Nicholas. And inscribed below it are the words, "May we all find peace." Ladies and gentlemen, that was our one shot for tonight.
Oh man.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Where the heroes win and they save the day, and people find peace and avenge parents, and it is a pleasure to tell stories with this group of people, and to thank you to Brian for allowing me to co-opt so many stories along the way, and to tie into wonder and to tie into things. Thank you to my players for being who you are and bringing the best parts of you to characters. It's the only way that it works. So we love you guys. Don't forget that here on Indigo Chameleon, there is always a spot at the table for you. Go find people that share your passions, your storytelling passions. Go connect with people. That's what Indigo is all about. We'll see you guys soon for more stories. Follow us on Discord. Give the chat a follow. As always, Indigo Connect. We'll see you soon.